Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith. Today is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022, the first show of the new year. And I'm joined, as always, by my loyal co-host from Fresno, California, Sonny Conway.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, dude.
How's it going, Chad?
Good. How do you like this new time slot?
Oh, this is good for me. I'm not tired.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it today, but we won't talk about that.
Almost had to start without you,
That's right.
but you're here.
Almost did. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Cynthia. She is joining us from New York, I think. New York, yeah. Cynthia Purgatory from Purgatory Paranormal of New York. She's been experiencing the other side since she was 5 years old. And now she hosts her successful YouTube channel of over 6 years where she posts paranormal videos and location investigations, as well as live chats and ghost box sessions with her subscribers and other guests. Please welcome Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Cynthia.
How's it going?
It's going good. How about with you?
It's going pretty good now.
Good.
Almost overslept, but we're back on track.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a sunny day here, and it feels like it's about 8 degrees outside. So
yeah,
yay,
I
winter.
think that's about what's going on here. It's super cold here.
Where are you?
I'm in southeastern Michigan.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So I think it was like 12 degrees or something.
Isn't that great?
Oh, it's 22 today. We hit a warm front.
Oh.
But yeah, Yesterday I went to go get in my truck and the door handle wouldn't even open. I'm like, okay, well, I have to get to work somehow. So I had to climb through the passenger side.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then once I got the driver's door open, it wouldn't latch closed. So I opened it from the inside and then went to go close it and it wouldn't. Okay. So.
Oh, wow. So that's like driving and holding your door closed?
Yeah, I had to do some physical manipulation of the latch in there and get it to go.
You need some de-icing spray.
Yeah, that's probably either that or some, I don't know what's going on in there. I think there's a recall in that door.
Remote start for your truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I just have to get away from my machine and go get the truck started in time at work.
Oh.
Well, cool, Cynthia. So you've been into the paranormal since you were 5 years old?
Well, I've been subject to the paranormal since I was 5 years old. After a traumatic event, I actually flew through a glass door, not on purpose.
Ooh.
Yeah, and after I got home from the hospital, things started to go sideways a little bit. But I was just a little girl, and so my mother waited till I was about 13 years old to explain the family history to me. So between the time I was 5 years old and 13 years old, everything that happened was just explained away as bad dreams. And there were some really interesting bad dreams. When I hit 13 years old, my mother finally took me aside and said, look, yeah, you're not really just having bad dreams. Here's what I have gone through. Here's what my nana, my grandmother had gone through. And then it started to make some sense. And then it just went off the rails through my 20s until I learned how to control it. But yeah, it started after that.
So it's not only good things, you've been experiencing some negative things too.
Yeah, I would say mostly until I was in my mid to later 20s. I didn't really understand that I could control what was happening to me. And so the things that happened to me were generally almost always negative and frightening, And I ended up living in my own apartment and brought all the frightening things with me. And it was just me and the frightening things. And I didn't know what to do about it until I finally got with a psychic who basically instructed me in how to, and the fact that I could at all control it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So how old were you when you figured out how to control it? You said in your 20s?
Yeah, I was probably around 28 years old, which is now a very long time ago. But yeah, I was about 28 years old when it finally made sense to me, and somebody told me that no, you don't have to suffer this. You can say no. You can basically close a door,
Mm-hmm.
and stop being a conduit. And stop letting everything that wants to come through come through. And once I figured that out, I gained strength, mental strength, in knowing that I could say, you can't come here, you can't do this to me. I'm stronger than you, and I have good on my side. And ever since then, it's very hard to scare me, though, because of the things that I went through. And I am actually writing a book about it, which I really need to finish.
What types of things did you have to go through to get to that point of figuring out that you can shut it down or not shut it down, but control it?
Well, I had, I can still close my eyes and see this gentleman who would appear to me at night and just scare the living you-know-what out of me. I would wake up to random things just standing there over me, looking at me. And, I was a headless woman in a prison dress. What was that about? I mean,
Whoa.
why are you here? But, basically what I came to understand was that I was just a conduit. I was just a way for them to try to come through. I don't know if they had a message. There's no way for me to know if she had a message. She didn't have a head, so obviously she wasn't saying anything. Had a shadow figure that evolved over time, from when I moved home from college and was living in my family home to when I moved out. He evolved, and then he would be standing in my kitchen in my apartment, and I would just be laying there looking at him. Now when this happens, because then it used to frighten the heck out of me, and now when it happens and I'm much older and wiser and calmer, a couple months ago, I woke up and my husband's sleeping away, and I can see in the dim light of our Velop, which is our internet connection, I can see this shadow figure hovering. He's above the bed there, so you can't see a face or anything, and I'm just laying there and I'm looking at my husband and I'm looking at him and I'm like, yes, can I help you? Please, I'd like to go back to sleep. And that's my attitude anymore when it happens is, I'd like to go back to sleep. Can I help you with anything? And if not, good night. So things have changed.
Yeah.
But that's what 40 years old. Well, I'm not 40 years. I'm 35. I'm 61 years old. So,
what?
A few years under my belt.
Yeah. So, do you see a connection between ET and the paranormal?
You mean aliens?
Yeah.
I respect anybody who believes in aliens. I respect that. Where I come from, I don't want there to be aliens. Okay. And the reason I don't want there to be aliens is I do not believe that if there is a species, a race of beings who can get in a ship and come here while we can't get in a ship and go there, that means they're smarter than us. And we're in a lot of trouble if they come here and they're smarter than us. Okay. So I don't want that. I don't want that to be a thing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, you share that opinion with a lot of people.
I don't. Look, I've seen, what was it? Was it The Outer Limits or the Twilight Zone? To Serve Man. I've seen that episode. Come on, people.
No. To Serve Man. Oh, I need to look up that one.
Oh yeah. Watch that one.
Okay.
Watch that
the Twilight Zone.
I'm not sure if it's the Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits, but it's a classic episode. Mm-hmm. It's called To Serve Man. Check it out.
Yeah, that's an uncomfortable feeling knowing that humans think that we're the top of the top, and to think that there's something else out there that might be millions of years more advanced than we are. It's hard for people to get, to think about that.
Right. Well, I mean, think about it. In the paranormal, and I know I hear people opine this way often, is if we're so smart, if we're so all that in a bag of chips, but we're talking to somebody who's on the other side, where'd that other side come from? Okay. What is that? And I'm not saying it's God. I'm not saying it's the great big head in the sky. Who knows? But
Yeah.
if there is another side, well, we didn't create it. So, I don't know.
Right. Maybe it created us.
And maybe the Matrix has us, right?
Yeah, I have heard that we're in like a biological matrix almost.
Right. Well, it's a great concept. I wish I had written that movie. I see movies and I'm like, wow, I wish I wrote that story,
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of those for sure.
Like that movie Oblivion with what's his name?
I'm so bad with references because I haven't seen.
Oh,
Top
Gun guy.
Val Kilmer.
No.
That's
Tom
funny.
Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Oh my gosh, can you believe I
How'd you not know Tom Cruise? I was
know, I
going for
couldn't
the
think of it either.
non-popular.
I blanked on Tom Cruise. Sorry, Tom.
I couldn't think of Tom Cruise either.
But that was when I saw that movie, and my husband was like, "Oh, it's a good movie." I'm like, I wish I'd written that. Oh my God, what a great twist! And if you haven't seen it, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and I won't spoil it. But it's actually a good movie.
I have to add that one to those too. I'm really bad with reference. Everyone's always like, "So, did you remember when you watched that one movie?" And I'm like, "Nope, never saw it."
Well,
what? How did you never see that?
We're all about quoting B movies in my house. We're all about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When anybody comes to us, they're like, "Can you recommend us something to watch?" We're like, "Oh yeah, yeah." Never heard of that. No, probably not. But
Yeah, I have to remember that.
No, we're the ones who watch Die Hard as a Christmas movie. We're the ones who watch anything with Bruce Willis in it. Anything, including Hudson Hawk. If you haven't seen Hudson Hawk, it's one of our favorites.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a good one.
Idiocracy.
Oh, I love it. I did just watch that one the other day.
That's a brilliant movie.
My
you have to watch that one.
Him is got to be the 9.5 months? Is that the one with Bruce Willis? 9
No,
months?
9.5. Is it 9.5? Oh, I'm thinking of 9.5 weeks. Ooh, very different movie.
Maybe it is.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know that one, 9.5 months. But we generally we like when Bruce Willis blows things up.
Yes.
But you know what? Great. I'm sorry. I know, probably getting off your topic here totally. But the movies, the Red movies. Red. It's called Red. It's with him, Helen Mirren. What's his name? Oh my gosh, he's one of my favorite actors. Malkovich. John Malkovich. I adore John.
Yeah.
You will. It's great. It's a great movie. Just watch them. Take my word for it.
He's the Of Mice and Men guy, right?
Yes. Oh, he's great. I love John. I love John Malkovich. I love him so much. And so, yeah.
Cool actor.
Yeah. Funny as hell when he's funny.
Yeah.
Because you don't expect it.
Right. Yeah. You don't expect it from him.
Yeah.
Especially because I watched him from Of Mice and Men, and what was another movie he was in?
Yeah, that's not a funny movie.
No.
Nope. Especially what happens to him.
No, but the Red movies, watch them. I recommend them to anybody.
Man, we might have to do like a movie recommendation show pretty soon.
Night. Yeah. We're big on movies here.
That's cool.
Yeah, you'd have to have Joe and Ben on for that one.
Yeah.
Joe, he quotes more movies, I think, than I've seen.
Right. Oh yeah, I haven't. Way more than I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get any reference that anyone ever says.
Oh no, we've had conversations with just movie references.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Unless it's Chris Farley references, I can hang with you there for a little while.
Yeah, he was pretty funny, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Yep, he was awesome.
Well, not his lifestyle, but his work ethic and his humor. Yeah, he was funny. I wish he was still here. But then I also wish John Candy was here.
Oh yeah, John
John
Candy was
Belushi.
cool too.
John Belushi. Oh yeah.
Those were
Well,
his two heroes. John Candy and John Belushi were Chris Farley's two heroes.
oh, these people need to take better care of themselves, man.
Oh, I know it. They
Yeah.
need some more friends that actually care about them
Yeah.
while they're
Well,
famous instead of just their money.
I think what happens sometimes is when you get famous and you get a lot of money, you get a lot of people that come out of the woodwork, and you have to make its choices. I tell my kids this all the time. Life is about making good choices. Good
Yep.
choices. So every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue. Have you what was I going to ask? Something about celebrities. Have you witnessed or seen any celebrity paranormal stuff, like celebrity ghosts, or had celebrities come through a voice box or anything like that?
Well, a few times when we've done sessions, we believe that we believe. Now, I'm not a medium. Okay, I'm just a psychic sensitive. Basically, if you're looking at hierarchy of paranormal, I don't necessarily feel that I have the ability to call a specific spirit to me. That's why I don't do, personal sessions. I don't do that kind of thing. And I think it's just a remnant of being that conduit back when I was younger and just waiting. So I just open up and see who comes. But we have had sessions where we believe we have heard Robin Williams. And there's somebody, a very good friend of mine, who has had contact, she believes, with him. And so when she comes and we do sessions, you think you hear the voice. Generally I use the radios, the hacked radios or the built radios. These are built specifically. Well, this one is a hacked radio. This is built specifically to be a ghost box. And so is this one up here. Excuse me. But, and so the voices that you're hearing aren't necessarily the actual voice of the spirit, because the theory is that they're using the energy and the voices in the transmissions to try to piece together a communication with us. So to try to make us hear them. So when you hear a voice that sounds familiar, it stands out. You're like, if I'm not, now there are people who do sessions and I am not a fan of it. What they will do is they will take a recording. Let's say if they want to do a session for Robin Williams, they'll take a recording of an interview with Robin Williams and they'll put it through a pedal. Like this has a guitar pedal on it, but just for gain, gain control. I don't do any of that, but they'll put it through there. They'll put a reverse pedal on it. They'll run it backwards and then they'll be amazed because they're hearing his voice. Well, of course they're hearing his voice.
Yeah.
Because they're playing his interview.
Right.
Okay. So it's a bit of a cheat. I don't do that. I will take the radio and whatever is there, if they can manipulate it and use it, if a voice comes through that does actually sound like that person and they're not currently in the news. So in other words, the stations aren't playing their interviews. Okay, then it stands out. The freakiest thing is when you're doing a session and you hear your own voice. When you hear your own voice come through. And what happens with that is it's called a mimic. It's called a mimic. And it's happened to me maybe 4 times. Okay, maybe 4 times in this almost 6 years I'm doing this, is that I will hear something, say something to me, and it's my voice. Or I will do a recording and listen back, and I hear my voice say something. And
wow,
that's very little scares me. My daughter walks on silent cat feet. I'll be out here in the dark, and then suddenly she'll be standing there, and I'll be like, hey, and she's like, why can't I jump scare you? I said, because I always figure there's someone there. I mean, there's someone there. So, but the mimic makes me tingle. I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds really strange, but not that the hairs stand up on the back of my neck, but that really gets me. It's like, well, that was me.
That's a cool thing that you just said right there, where you said, you're never afraid because you always assume there's somebody there. I've never heard that before, but that's a pretty cool way of going about that.
Always. I always
assume there's somebody standing there.
Always. Always, always, always. I was in my kitchen one day, and below my kitchen window is my mom lives downstairs, and she has all her bird feeders. Every bird in the Northeast visits us
Mm-hmm.
to eat. So one day, bright, sunny day, nobody else is home. I go over to the window and I lean over to look out at the birds. And suddenly I feel a hand on my shoulder. And you can tell when somebody leans over with you, right? So there's a hand on my shoulder, and I can tell somebody is leaning over looking out the window with me. And I'm like, okay. Of course you look and there's no one there.
Yeah.
So I get up and I'm like, all right, who's that? Who's here? So I set up the camera in the kitchen and I left the camera running and I left the room. And when I came back and watched, the footage was just basically of the camera looking at my window, but I listened to it. And basically what you hear is as if someone comes up to the camera and you can hear them breathing as they're looking at the camera. So you hear somebody breathing and the camera kind of goes, jostles a little bit. So whoever was there who wanted to look at the birds with me, then probably watched me set up the camera and then came over and was like, what's this? And so I have this recording of someone breathing into the mic of my camera.
Crazy.
It's crazy. So somebody is always there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is cool to think about. I'm gonna think about that all the time now. Because I live alone, so I'm gonna be thinking that a lot.
Oh no. I've had people say to me, can they see me when I'm naked? Like I had one person literally tell me on a stream, I shower in the dark because I know they can see me. I'm like,
come on.
And all I could say was, you shower in the dark? What do you?
That's got to be how I'll run around challenge.
Half the time anyway. I only got all these clothes on because it's cold out here.
You got gloves? I just noticed you got gloves on.
Like, what are they going to do with the information? What's the big deal?
Yeah, what are they going to do? Take pictures?
Right. Tell me you. I know you don't ever get movie references, man, and that just blows me away.
Yeah, it's bad.
Do you get this one? Just the name right there. Does that?
Fresh Donny Cakes.
Fresh Donny Cakes. That's my buddy Logan from Canada.
All right. You know his name, right? You know what that's from?
I know it's from Wahlberg.
Some people flip the cakes. I replace the cakes. That's the Donny difference.
Oh, that's right. Now I know who it is. What is his name? He's a janitor. Oh, man. I can't think of his real name.
From Ted.
From Ted, yeah.
There's another Chad Smith.
Everyone's Chad Smith.
Everyone's Chad Smith.
Yep.
Good morning, Grandmaster.
God, I'm so
those spirit boxes, I was listening to that last night.
Were you?
That scares me.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, no. We were using this one, I know, last night for a while.
Yeah, how do those work?
Well, basically, this one was made for me by Katie Hulte. And Katie and Steve Hulte he's basically, his writings are how I learned to hack radios. And these are old Radio Shack radios. They're 2125s. Behind them are my 587s. Basically, when we say we hack a radio, each radio, and they're the older models because the newer ones, the digital ones, it's hard to do. But you go in and you cut a mute wire or bend a mute pin, and a radio is meant to scan. If you hit the scan button, it will scan quietly until it catches a station, and then it will stop. Mm-hmm. And it'll be like, oh, here's a good station for you to listen to. If you cut the mute wire or bend the pin, depending on the model, do whatever you need to do to the radio to stop that muting ability. The radio will scan without stopping unless it really catches a strong station, but it will also have all the white noise in between. So I like when you scan a radio and you look for a station, there's no white noise in between, but these leave the white noise. And there's a reason for that. Okay. 2 reasons for that. One, we wanted to keep going so that the spirits can use the energy and it doesn't stop on them, and they can use the energy or the words, the voices. The other thing is the white noise. I have done just white noise sessions. So I've done just a white noise session where I had a box and it was just white noise. No radio voices coming through. And believe it or not, some stuff came through. which is definitely freaky. And that means they're just using the energy in the radio. And one of my favorite things to catch is the whispers, because you get the voices. Yeah, the voices, they're putting together the people that are speaking on the radio. But when you hear a whisper come through, to me, they're using the energy. They're using the energy to communicate. Sometimes I'll be doing a session and I'll hear something here, like it didn't come from the radio. And they're just using the energy. So that's what the radios are. They're basically radios, but they're made to just scan without stopping and not block the white noise in between. So
What if you were using the white noise? I'm old school, so the old dial radios. You remember the white noise between every channel? It's basically what you're picking up, except you would have to be turning that thing back and forth
right.
constantly.
There are people that do that. They call that a manual ghost box session.
Okay.
I don't have the patience to do it. I don't. When I first started doing this, again, paranormal had been part of my life. And then about 6 years ago, I don't even remember how, if my kids told me about this thing called YouTube, and I'm like, what's that? So I went on and I saw, somehow I started watching some of these people who were doing this. And I thought, holy moly, there might be an actual way to quantify what's happening to me and show it to other people. Because when you have these experiences, basically you keep them to yourself. You don't want to go to a party and say something and then have people go, you're out of your mind. Let's get you a therapist. So you're very careful about who you share it with. Now, because of the popularity of the genre, thanks to TV, now, if we go somewhere, my husband will be like, you know what my wife does? And I would be like, oh, no.
Here we go.
And then everyone wants to tell me their experience, which I love. I don't mind it at all, but it's like, oh my gosh, this happened to me. Oh my gosh, this happened to me. Have you ever been here? Has this ever happened to you? And then the whole thing just takes off, and which is great, because it's the total opposite of what I feared my entire life, of people like looking at me going, mental. So
yeah, you didn't think people were going to actually want to do like an entire podcast on you.
No. And I've got people that want me to come to their house, which I'm going to be doing, hopefully, when everything evens out in the world,
right?
Because they've got quite the story. So I'm really looking forward to doing that investigation. But the other thing I like to do besides these radios is to do just digital recorder EVP sessions, which I've done a number of those, and they're on my channel as well. I've done it where I put one here and one across the room, asking questions. I get answers here. I get an answer over there. That is my favorite thing, because there's no radio. This is the voices that you hear are their best attempt to communicate in however they're making a voice, which I don't know how they're doing it, but I have caught answers just on the digital recorder. And that's the coolest thing, because that's the closest thing to their voice,
Right.
Where are you located at?
I am just north of New York City. I'm born and raised in the Bronx, but I live outside of the city now. And but I'm just in New York City, in my heart. I'm a New York City girl, but I'm stuck out here in the country. My husband's a country boy. Country. I mean, we're an hour from the city, but
yeah,
it is very different here than the city. Yeah.
Is it darker out there? Can you see stars better?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's one thing I always think about with people that have been born and raised in a city, like a larger city. I just always wonder what their experience is with looking up and seeing the stars, or if there are no stars. Or
I think it's an interesting question, because my husband asks me that too, because I said, well, I could move back into the city, if I had to, and he could never live in the city. And what it is it's just what it's what you're used to. In the country, you look up. In the city, you look down. Everything is inside. Like he has his, New York City it's so noisy. There's so many people. I said, everything in the world is there for you. It's just inside.
Yeah.
Okay. Outside is just to get to another inside place.
Right.
Okay. And then you can go to the planetarium and see the stars.
Right. Got everything you need.
Everything you need. But in the country, you can go outside and you can look up and you can see the stars. And then you can drive your car down the road and you can hit a deer, which is great, which I've done.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
So it's, it's just, it's everything has its good and its bad,
Yeah. Yep.
My husband drove tractor trailers in the city when he was younger. So if we go into the city, he's like, I remember backing down that alleyway.
That's got to be like one of the hardest jobs ever.
He can drive anything.
Driving a giant truck in a city like that.
Yeah, I know he can drive.
It's like that in Oakland.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, no, he still has a CDL. He can drive. He can literally drive anything. He races. I don't know if you ever watched any. My husband races dirt track, and he raced the car for about 10 years now. He's got a truck team, and so once in a while he'll drive the hauler for another friend of ours who has what's called a big block modified. So it's a tractor trailer, and I'll go with him, and I'm sitting up there like on top of the world in the Kenworth,
Yeah.
And I'm like da 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 da. He's like, all right, watch how I change the gears on this thing, and I'm like. I'm like, and it's got tooth, and I'm like,
yeah,
that was great. Let me go back to listening to my music.
Not your normal H pattern in the Mustang,
He's showing you that because he's trying to get you to drive it on the way back.
Oh, you bet. Oh, that would be in the ditch. No.
What kind of truck team does he have? What do you mean truck? Like off-road racing, or is
he's gone from dirt track to asphalt.
Oh,
so
no, he doesn't race it.
He raced. They are pickup trucks, and they race. We have a track that he started to race at, and the track is one of the minor NASCAR tracks. So everything's got like farm tracks and stuff. So it's a NASCAR track, but it didn't have a truck class. So a year ago or a year and a half ago, my husband went to the promoter and he said, "Look, this is a NASCAR track. It should have a truck class." He says, "I'm selling my street stock, but I want to start a truck class." And he said, "Okay, do it." So my husband and his friends built 3 trucks, and they brought them, and the guy gave them a class. He gave them a championship. And every week they raced the 3 trucks. And he thought, "Oh, this is great. We're going to start this class." And one of his friends, who's a great guy, and he had sold his street stock, he was like, all of a sudden one day we go to his shop, because he has a shop, and he's like, "The truck is all redone." We're like, what happened? And then he goes up, he's got a flag on it, and he was like, "I'm winning this championship." But you know what? My husband has fathered this truck class, and now there's like 9 other people that are building trucks. So this coming year, we expect the class to be even bigger. So we're pretty excited about it.
You guys are going to have Harvick and people like that racing against him.
We have actually, my husband did race at a track.
Trucks too.
We have been, who is it? Tony Stewart that came?
Oh man.
One of the guys came on the night when the sprints were there and stuff. Yeah, no, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. So I've gone to the track with him, and I've done a couple sessions at the track. So
Whoa.
I'm like, ghost busting at the Grace track,
Sonny's done that too, actually.
Yeah,
I did that. We do drag races now. Used to do mini sprints and
nice.
The little ones with the not the ones with the big V8s like your husband was racing. We did the ones with the street bike motors in it for the kids.
Oh, those are so cute. Oh, those are great.
They're fast. But yeah.
They have those classes.
We did those, and our buddies did the ones with the bigger engines, and I never got into those ones. But we went from that to off-road racing and dirt bikes and quads. But now we do drag racing.
I like the drags. I do.
That's our drag races, Field.
That is so cool. No, that's cool. At one time, my husband's like, "Let me build you a drag car." I'm like, "Are you out of your mind?" No, I have other hobbies, thank you.
We built one that has 2 engines in it with nitrous on both engines, and I've seen my wife drive that. I helped build the car,
That's so
and
cool.
I won't race it.
No.
I've seen her get in it and race it. And I tell her, I'm not driving that thing. I know better. I know what's holding it together. I'm not going to get there and do that.
Oh, that's nice. Oh no. Well, right below me is we have a 3-car garage, and I still park outside and scrape ice off my window. So that'll tell you what's in my 3-car garage. It's basically a racing shop. And I've watched him do all of it. He's got the new truck. Now he's building a new truck. It's right below me. And he just got the bed off it the other day, and he's got to get the fuel cell and parts every day. There's big boxes of parts at my front door. I'm like, oh, what's this today?
Car parts.
Car parts. Oh yeah, no, it's exciting for him. He loves it. No, really, he really loves it. I'll put some pictures up at some point when this truck is done. But
I want to move there just to be his mechanic for free.
He'd love that. Oh my gosh. No, they have a good time, but I go to the track with them. He's like, come to the track. And then I have to get a chair. I have to like basically entertain myself, because once we get to the track and they all pull in, it's like, all right, what do we got to do? Tires, this, that, check that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then they're walking around. They're talking to I'm like, why am I here? But it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, Sonny. I was gonna say your experience that you had out at the track.
Yeah, we where we have the drag races, it's at an old army base.
Ooh.
It's an old retired army base. We use the runway for our drag strip where they land the planes. We turn that into the drag strip for that week or whatever. And we have old army barracks out there. And I was messing around and decided I was going to walk for Cass. I was going to make a video for Cass so she could see what it was like out there. I went in the barracks by myself, and I have my phone on. I'm recording the whole thing. I walked through a room. It's totally empty. There's nothing in there. There's not even, nothing is in there. It's just an empty room. There's nothing in the rafters. And I walk through, you can see everything. And when I get in the other room, I'm videotaping these bathrooms. And I get to the second bathroom, and that room behind me, it sounds like something hits the wall, like whack, or something fell over. Big thud. And it just stops me in my tracks in the video. And I can't move. I'm actually stuck. Actually, I say no. That's what you hear in the video. I was like, no.
But there's nothing in there.
And then I turn around, and I'm stuck there for a minute. It's actually, and yeah. I walk forward and go back in. There's nothing there, and I was like, "Okay, I didn't like that."
Yeah, yeah. The fear will freeze you. And what I find with a lot of people that do the urbex and they do the paranormal with the urbex is that it's not the spirits you have to worry about. It's like, is that an actual person? Did somebody?
That's what I was worried about.
An actual person follow me in who's messing with me, or especially the urbexers, they have to be very careful because squatters live in a lot of these places, and you have to be careful. It's why I don't do that kind of thing, because I don't have a team. It's just me, and you have to be careful. But yeah, that would freak you out.
I wasn't totally by myself. It was me and Lucky. I had my gun on my hip.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was what that minute was. That was
right. But as a gun owner, and I am as well, that you really don't want to have to make that choice.
No, I was just stuck in there, and because that thud was so loud, it was definitely something fell over. And then what I chalked it up to was, nope, there was a possum or an owl in here that I didn't see when I walked through, because I don't want to I don't want to say absolutely nothing slapped that wall, but something slapped that wall. Right. So I have to make something up in my mind.
That's right. Awesome. And I'm not even going to look for those little footprints in the dust. Nope, it was raccoon.
I'm always saying that too. I wonder how many experiences I've had and just chalked it up to an owl or something that I just must have been something I missed.
Well, that's what I've always said. People that don't experience the paranormal are blissfully unaware, and that's good. That's fine, because I remember the things that I experienced, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I mean, I close my eyes and I still hear and see the things I experienced. And, the book I'm writing, the last chapter, which I've decided is not going to be quite as long as I thought it was going to be, but it's going to be about why there are people in the world that would probably say that I have a screw loose, as opposed to actually having the experiences. And I realized I shouldn't make that chapter that long, because why should I make a case for that? But yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, like, what is it? What's happening? It's tough. Man, it's difficult.
That's why I asked where you were located. I've been trying to get someone like you in there now. Now that something like that's happened,
Mm-hmm.
now I needed to put somebody in there that knows what they're doing.
Well, where is that?
I'm in Fresno, California. It's about an hour from me.
Wow.
So it's right around Fireball, California. It's just a little town.
Cool. What a great name.
Army base.
Fireball. It's actually
Fireball.
called
Yep.
Fireball,
Right
California.
Yeah, you gotta wonder how I got that name.
I'd love to live. I live in Fireball.
No, you would not like to live there. It's a very, very small town. Very, 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 very small country town.
Wow. Well, I'd love to do I want to do the Southwest sweep. I want to go to Tombstone. I want to do that. And eventually, my friend Ray, who does the streams with me a lot, he's done that. And I want to get out there. So if I ever get out that way, I'll let you know.
Yep. Then, yes.
I'd love to see an old Army base.
Get towards Fresno, California, I will take you out there so you guys can do that.
That's very cool, though. How long is the run? Is the runway's pretty long? Then that's probably a great thing to use for drags.
It's over an 8 mile long.
Wow,
that's probably nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We got about 200 yards to stop after that 8th mile. So
that's great. That's great. I like the drags. Years ago we went to one of the filming of the what was that show called? Pinks. Remember Pinks? Yeah. Yep. We went one night for the film. Actually, I think we went 2 nights in a row.
I like the guys from 405 that do the drag races. Memphis, JJ the Boss.
Oh.
Okay. JJ the Boss, you seen in Vegas where those last episodes before their show ended for the season? He was in Vegas. Those guys were kicking his ass and they were taking a lot of his money.
Oh no.
Those 2 guys was Frank and Jason. Those guys are from our track. That's from us. That was us out there kicking his ass. They beat him. Jason beat him in like a $14,000 race or something like that.
And then
I know Frank beat him at least 2 or 3 times for at least $5,000 to $8,000 a race.
Wow. So, and that's real. That's real. That wasn't just for TV. That was real. Oh my. Yeah, my husband watches. Every time I walk in there and he's watching JJ the Boss, I'm like, oh no.
Now you can tell him those guys that were whooping their ass. I just talked to him on. That's Eagle Field. Eagle Field was out there getting them guys.
I'm like, that guy is some character. I said, that's got to be for TV. Come on. Is he really like that?
Yeah, they're like that.
No, we went out. We were in Vegas recently. We went out for SEMA, and
oh, cool.
Yeah, and my husband has the little car business, so restoration. And so he's got his pictures with he loves Kindig. He's got his picture with Kindig. Last time we went out 3 years ago, he's got him. I'm looking right at it above our bar. It's got a picture with Farm Truck and Asian.
Farm Truck.
And Jeff somebody. Jeff somebody. I don't know.
Jeff Lutz.
Yeah, I think that's him. And then the guys with the beards. Guys with the Diesel Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And then he's getting a picture with the Diesel Brothers and Jesse James. He's like, why am I not in this picture? And they're like, get in the picture. So my husband's like,
that's awesome.
Probably a cool picture.
That was we've got them all over the room here, but this time we went and it was different this year, because the world's kind of different. But it was fun. But we had just seen Kindig at the Adirondack Nationals, which was the car show up in Lake George in New York in September. And we made a point of because he was there with his wife this time. And so we step up to talk to him, and he's like, "How you doing?" And my husband's like, "Let me ask you one question. How's your golf game?" And he's like, "It's great. We don't keep score." Just having this whole conversation with him, and we're talking, and my husband's like, "Thanks a lot." And I said, "Honey, would you like to get a picture?" And Dave Kindig's like, "Oh, we should take a picture." He just loves talking to them, you know.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, my husband is the quintessential car guy. You know, like he's one of those guys that he tries to teach me, because our next project we want to do a 55 Chevy Bel Air.
Ooh.
So he's like, "All right, look, what year's that one?" I'm like, "Oh," and then so I've kind of learned the square lights, the brown lights, the Dagmars. You know, I've kind of learned how to tell one from the other. He can look at a car and what year's that one? Boom, he knows what it is.
Yeah, I've never been good at doing that unless it's like a newer.
I can look at the headlights or tail lights of any vehicle and tell you what year it is.
That's it. And that I figured that out very recently. That's the trick. That's the trick you guys do. Because each year I think they would change. Those things changed along with whatever else changed with the cars. So that's the trick. Everybody out there, that's the trick. They learn the front and the back of the car. Then they know. Yeah, no. It's a trick.
I used to
we have a 69 Buick Electra. It's
nice.
It's an old school gangster car. That's what my wife drives. Well, that's her cruising car anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And no rust. There's no rust on the car.
I love the 64 Chevelle. I love the flat face. I love a 64 Chevelle, but we're gonna do I want to do a 55 Bel Air.
55 is my favorite. That's hands down.
I want to resto mod it, but I want the old dashboard style. You know, I don't like when they modernize the dashboard. That just really gets my hackles up.
Yeah, it changes the whole car.
Don't be doing that. That dashboard is iconic. It's beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of design and art. Like it's like a what do they call that? Like art deco. Is it art deco?
Yeah, it's very art deco. Yeah.
Let's see. Hey,
a lot of thought.
Chad,
and it's gorgeous.
Try to solo screen me, see if she can see this.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
If your husband could see this, it would make him sick like it did me.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
Come on. 4-wheel drive, lifted 55 Chevy Bel Air.
Yeah. It's cool to look at, but man.
It is kind of cool, but that's a $100,000 car that they did that to.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I would need a ladder to get into that. So, but he sees the cars with the lift kits. He's like, "Oh, that's so nice." I'm like,
Yeah, that 55 Chevy got me though. I was like, "Oh, because that's like my favorite hot rod right there," and someone lifted it.
I'm looking for. So we were fortunate when we were at SEMA. We picked out some paint colors for it and stuff. Apple Brandywine. Oh, that's my color. It's going to be gorgeous. So we're looking, kind of sourcing out how much of a car we want to start with. You know what I mean? You have to get something that's workable, you know, so you got to find it. I know. It's going to be, but it's going to be
fun.
And I'm going to help with it because he bought an El Camino. He bought 2 El Caminos to make into an El Camino. He's like, "I'm going to make you this car." And I'm like, yeah, okay.
Wasn't really feeling it.
No, I'm like, sell the El Camino project. I want to make the Bel Air. So now we go back and forth between post or no post, you know, because there is a difference, you know, the
post,
one,
it's
one of them, the back is, so.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
a
the
lot
next
more money, but it's worth it.
Well, what we've come to realize is that when it comes down to whether it's going to be post or no post, it's going to be whatever is in the best condition at the right price at the time we're ready to buy it. So if it's got a post or no post, that's the car we're going to buy, you know. So
I can cut those posts out of there.
Then Lizzie just said, "My husband's uncle was married to the fastest woman racer back in the day." That's pretty cool.
Oh, what's her name?
Yeah, I know, it's on the tip of my tongue too. Well, is it the drag racer?
It's got to be. Yeah, it's the same lady I'm thinking of. Shirley Muldowney. Is that? Am I close?
Muldowney. Oh God.
Shirley
Muldowney.
Something like that.
We had Raceway Park in New Jersey. Man, we can all still hear those commercials in our head. Raceway Park.
I don't know why that sounds familiar. I've never been over to New Jersey, but Raceway Park sounds familiar.
Well, look up an old ad for it, and then it'll never get out of your head.
That's what they were hoping for.
Yeah, unfortunately, the track is gone now, and we're all left with the memory of the sound bite.
Oh, that's sad. There's a racetrack here where I live that it's not too far from here, but they've been trying to get it going, and then it gets shut down by the neighbors because it's too loud. Which I don't know why you would buy a racetrack if you weren't into that, but
well,
and then
it's like people that buy houses near gun clubs and then complain.
Or factories like where I work. The neighborhood got put in right where I work, and then they start complaining about the noise.
Did you not notice the really big building when you were looking at the house?
Yep. Industrial complex next to the neighborhood didn't raise any flags.
Right.
But yeah, whatever we were just talking about.
Oh man.
So yeah, to get somebody out there like you in that in those barracks.
Not somebody.
Who do I it's
know?
spooky.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm not scared. I wasn't never scared to go out there like that. I mean, not too scared until that thump. Now it's always in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
What the hell was
but
that?
Remember now, you heard this big sound, but there was nothing there. So if there's nothing there, it was a noise. Maybe something made a noise to get your attention, but there's nothing actually there that would have hurt you. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Don't be afraid. That's not of the spirits. Of people, yeah. You know, people sneaking up on you, yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax. But the spirits, I honestly believe that the instances of someone being hurt by spirit are so rare. And all these people that run around finding a demon under every pillow makes no sense. Okay? I think that you would have to work very hard for a very long time and be in a very dark place in order to get a demon even to bother with you. Why would a demon bother with me? There's no reason for a demon to bother with me. What are they going to get? What? When I make them breakfast or something? Why are they going to bother me? No.
So the people that do experience that, do you think that there might be something that they're struggling with inside, like personally, that they might have a struggle going on, and that's why they're experiencing more negative entities?
If there is someone that truly believes that they are being harassed by something negative, yes, I think that negativity draws negativity. And if you're in a bad place, you're vulnerable and you can draw it to you, not even of your own volition. I also believe that, sadly, most of the people who are making themselves popular by constantly finding demons are not being 100% truthful. So,
makes sense.
Yeah. So I think if anybody is experiencing what they believe is a negative contact that they cannot shed, that they cannot get rid of, they should speak to somebody. Now, when I was in my 20s, I thought I'm either losing my mind or this is really happening. I need to either go to a psychiatrist or I need to go to a psychic. Well, I couldn't afford a psychiatrist. So I went to a psychic and she helped me. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I say that all the time. There's these friends that we have that do oracle card readings and stuff like that. Sometimes you just need someone to like reassure you and reaffirm that you're on the right track and you're doing the right thing. And
yes, and a lot of people don't have that. We're very isolated, especially right now with everything that's gone on in the world. So the isolation is very bad for a lot of people. Yep. So the oracle card readings, like the ones that Cassie, Oracles and Beyond does, the nice thing about those is that people who have an intuition, because I do card readings sometimes too, and I do intuitive card readings, they have an intuition that they use in addition to those cards. And generally they're looking for positive feedback for you. You know, people are like, oh, what if I get the Tower card? So what? The Tower card means endings and beginnings. It means a lot of different things. And the interpretation and just having someone say to you, look, I care about you enough to do this reading for you right now. Here's what I'm feeling for you. And there's always hope. And here's why. And if it relates to something that's actually going on in your life right now, then that helps you realize, wait a minute, you know, we're all part of the same mothership here. We're all part of the same thing, and somebody is feeling it for me. And it's a good thing. So I like when the oracle readings get done for people, the tarot readings, because it brings people together. And it gives you a sense that somebody is feeling something for you and sharing it with you. And you're not so isolated.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I can see them becoming more popular, and I was wondering, you know, I guess I was kind of wondering why that was, and it does make a lot more sense now that, you know, the isolation is drawing more people to be more of a community or looking for a community.
Right.
And they find that with oracle readings and stuff like that.
Right. And I know that with the paranormal, we do get people coming trying to contact specific spirits. Again, I'm not a medium. There are some really talented mediums and psychics that I have come in contact with, but very few. And they have a gift. It's a gift where they can actually call to them. You know, spirits come to me, but again, I don't try to call a specific one. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so again, they're just people are looking for someone to say, you know, you're here, you matter, you exist. Let me do something for you. You know, it's a way of giving. That's why the people that truly do them, that care about people, don't charge money for them. You know?
Right. Yep. That's a key. That's one thing I did pick up on is the people that are out there like, my Cash App is in the description, and, you know, for $5 you can get 5 minutes, and we'll do a 3-card spread for you. And it's like,
yeah, the people that they want like a little tip or something, I don't begrudge them that, because you know as well as I know, doing this at all costs us money.
oh yeah.
Okay, I have only ever spent money. I haven't made but a few dollars off of YouTube. And they have their cards they buy. And so I can see, buy them a coffee. There's a buy me a coffee app. $5 is not a big deal. What I'm talking about is the people that will charge you $40, $50 or more to do a private reading for you. I don't get that. There's no reason for that. Okay. If you really care about, now I get you want to make money. Everybody likes money. I like money, but I can't see doing that. You know, but a $5 tip, I don't have any problem with that, because again, you know, the lights, the camera, the time, the cards, they're not free, you know, so the support. Yeah.
Yeah. The tips aren't bad at all, I guess.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's like the people that won't talk to you at all unless you send a couple bucks first. It's like, man, just not doing it for the right reasons.
No, you're not doing it. You're not doing it for the right reasons at all.
No, that's like paying someone for an autograph. I would never do that.
No, I wouldn't either. I
don't charge for autographs. I shouldn't have to pay for them.
I'll have to remember that. Man, I have to get your autograph. I just never asked because I figured I couldn't afford it.
Oh, I just heard the other day, or I saw online, that there's one very well-known female singer. If somebody asks her for an autograph, she tells them it's $1,000. And I don't know if that's to make them go away or what.
You know, I was hanging out one time with, I call him Papa Het. It's James Hetfield from Metallica.
Oh yeah.
We were at a car show one time, and we're looking at this car, and he bumps me. You know, he goes, "Hey, we got to keep moving." And I was like, I wasn't done looking at the car, for one, and I don't give a shit who you are, for two. But then he says, if we stay in one spot too long, a bunch of people might, you know, somebody might recognize me, and then it's gonna ruin his day, basically.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. Ain't nobody even giving you a second glance. It's a car show, you know. And so maybe like 10 minutes later, we kept moving around, and I'm sorry, guys, nose is running.
That's okay.
We kept moving around, and we're walking, and these two guys walk by us, and one guy just stops dead in his tracks and turns around and comes back, and he goes, "Are you James Hetchfield?" And he just looks at him and he goes, "Oh my God, you are!" You know, and he says, "Can I have?" Now the other guy comes back, his buddy, and he says, "Can I have your autograph?" And he goes, "I'm so sorry, I can't give you my autograph." And when he said that, I looked at him like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me? You better give this guy your autograph." You know, that was the feeling I had. And then all of a sudden, from those two guys, all these people just started gathering around. And then I understood I can't give you an autograph. He would have been signing autographs for 2 hours. I mean,
oh man,
that many people. Okay, now I like to tell that because he doesn't drink anymore. He doesn't do drugs. He's a good guy. So, but my other buddies do, and there's like 5 or 6, 7 of us there together, and he's there because my cousin does artwork for him. That's how I met him.
Okay.
So these guys go to get a beer. I don't drink either. So when they go get their beer and they're standing in line at the beer booth, me and James Hetchfield, we're standing towards the side. It's just me and him. And this girl comes walking up. She's so pretty. She's like a model. She's got long blonde hair, and she's got this tight shirt on, and in glitter. It's like a pink shirt, but in glitter across the front, and her boobs are all stretching it out. It says Metallica right across the front of the shirt. And he gives me another elbow. He's tall too. He's way taller than me. He's a big guy. He gives me like, he goes, "Check this out." Basically, you know, he's married and he's not picking up on no girls, but he knew what was coming. He's seen this girl walking straight at us, and he goes like, "Check this one out," you know.
Oh my!
So she walks to us, but she's kind of walking by us, and he goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And she stops and looks up at him and me, and she goes, "Yeah," and she just keeps walking.
Oh my!
I won't say what he said after that because we're live, but it was. I couldn't stop laughing. I was crying.
He has no idea.
Yeah, that was pretty good, dude. And he's just shaking his. I can't say what he was saying, but it was very funny. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Well, have you ever met Lars?
Oh yeah, I met Lars and
my good friend of mine.
He took us to a concert after that, and
did he?
And we got to be in the green room. He bought all our drinks, and it was awesome. I got to meet them all.
Good friend of mine goes to their concerts a lot, and he says what happens at the concerts, because they must get tired of this stuff, I guess, is that people will start yelling for Lars to throw his drumsticks.
He does.
And but he says that some of the concerts he's gone to, he likes eggs people on, and then he starts spitting on them. Like, oh,
he's the more quiet one of the bunch. I'll say that. The nicest one is the guitar player, Kurt. He's really nice.
Yeah.
And Rob, the bass player, is really
Yeah. I always liked Metallica. I remember when Metallica was new. About 83, I think they started.
I think he said to me before, I got to make sure I can say stuff. That
okay.
he was blown away about it still, because he still feels like it's the same garage band that they started out in the garage, you know, like.
Well, that's good. Oh no, they've always had a great sound. They've always had a great sound.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Metallica.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Damn near gets me speeding tickets though. Good music for driving.
Yeah. Driving fast.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like the band Ghost, and my friend who is the one that goes to the Metallica concerts always chides me for it. He's like, "How can you like the band Ghost?" And I'm like, "Look, it's just fun, man. It's just fun."
I had another question. When you were talking about mediums and psychics, or medium psychics, do you take them along with you on your investigations and kind of incorporate like their skills with what you do?
I'd like to do that, but like I said, I don't have a team. It's just me. I'm just somebody who
Uh-huh.
has got paranormal that's been a part of my life since I was little. I did go out to Bay City, Michigan, where Ray is, and we did. He's still working on the video, but we did an old abandoned theater, and we had, I think we had at least two psychics with us, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Well, now I'm interested big time. Is that because I'm not too far from Bay? You said Bay City, Michigan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there last February.
Yeah, that's like an hour and a half from here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Was that on video, that investigation?
He's got it. He's got all the footage, and he's still working on it. But it was a place called the Odd Fellows Theater, and we had it for the night, and it's kind of all cavernous and broken down inside, and you can like see half of the second floor is gone, and pretty cool. I'm looking forward to him getting the video together. But we had a couple of psychics with us. We had another investigator who was supposed to come and who ghosted us. So
literally ghosted you.
Literally ghosted us. And he was pretty peeved about that. So he did a first cut of it, and he said, okay, well, that one I was too angry. So I gotta redo it. I'm like, yeah, no, let's not do that.
Yeah. Definitely interested in checking that out, because I'm a Michigan person, and I love theaters, especially just abandoned theaters. I can watch movies on abandoned theaters all day.
Well, that's what this one is. It's called the Odd Fellows. I don't think it was a movie theater. I think it was a theater.
Right.
And cool old building.
Huh.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
And that's my buddy Ray.
Okay.
Who does live streams with me, and his channel is called Nobody Believes Me Paranormal. He doesn't do a lot on his own.
Paranormal.
Right. He doesn't do a lot on his own channel now because we're doing a lot of stuff together.
Okay.
And we had a lot of plans that, went by the wayside when the world went to hell. But, we were going to we were going to go to the Stanley Hotel, and we were going to go here and there. It'll happen,
I hope so. Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. And
the Stanley Hotel, is that the hotel from The Shining?
It's the hotel that Stephen King, I don't know if he did any of the writing there, but I think it's either he did some of the writing there, or it was the
like the inspiration for
it. That's the word I can't think of.
It's okay.
The inspiration for it.
Yeah, that's see, I got a movie reference.
There you look, see, and a book reference, because the book is brilliant. The Shining is probably the scariest book I ever read.
Never seen it.
It's a great book.
Never seen it.
Read the book. Read the book.
Ooh, Sonny.
The book's better.
We need a watch party soon.
The book is better.
Yeah, I keep hearing the book's better.
The book is better.
I'm so bad at reading.
I
have to slam a bunch of coffee before I start reading. I'll fall asleep.
Get it on audio.
Get Jade to read it to us.
Get him to read them to you.
Jesus.
Get an audio. Get the audio book and listen to it. That's what my husband does, because my husband's dyslexic. So he's like, read? No.
Maybe that's my problem. I've never been tested for it, but I have a hard time reading.
Get the audio book and just listen to it. It's a great book. Great. I mean, Stephen King is a great book writer. Great book writer. Yeah. Not a great screenplay writer, but a good book writer.
Huh. Yeah, I hear that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
That the books are always better with his stories.
Yeah.
I never watch scary movies.
I never.
It's not funny. I usually don't watch it.
I don't actually watch them either. Although I do tell the story of how I unwittingly watched Krampus, which was...
Oh, I like that one.
Oh, I thought it was my son and his girlfriend at the time were watching. I thought, oh, you're watching a Christmas movie. Let me sit down and watch it with you. What on earth did I... And it's like a car wreck. Then you can't get up. You can't take your eyes off of it. And then it's over and you're like, all right, I can't get this out of my head. I mean...
I showed it to my grandkids last year, and I tell them now Krampus is coming for them.
Well, I had a friend at my gun club, a friend of mine, and she told me Krampus is a real thing in Germany, and they have Krampus parades to scare the kids, to scare them straight.
Scare them straight.
To make them be good. I'm like, that's horrifying.
I know.
Luckily, he doesn't really put people in snow globes, but
And that really works there in Germany.
It really works.
They don't got no problems at all.
Seems a bit much. It's a bit much, But
Yeah, Krampus is pretty.
He's supposed to be
pretty
Santa,
creepy.
either Santa's evil brother or Santa's evil shadow. Isn't that nice?
It's supposed to be his evil shadow.
His evil shadow or his evil brother, something like that. I don't remember, but isn't that a nice thing to share with the kiddies?
Either be nice or this is what's gonna happen.
See this, and they dress up in these horrible costumes, and the children. She said the children cower. I'm like, well, isn't that a nice parade? That's lovely. He's like, come on, we're going to the Krampus Parade.
The Krampus Parade. I just had pictures. We were just talking about Krampus for the Christmas special. I'm trying to find the pictures.
The Christmas special. It's special, all right.
Oh, that's definitely.
Yeah, I don't seek out scary. Like I don't watch the one with the clown, or I just
it
doesn't do anything for me. No, I want to
Yeah,
laugh. I would prefer to laugh.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched The Notebook one time, and I don't even remember why. And I'm like, oh, why am I watching this?
Where's the funny part?
Where's the funny part? No, I'd rather laugh. I would rather laugh. So.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I go to sit down for a movie, it's got to be funny. It's got to have some comedy
or action, laugh, or just action.
Right.
Like I'm gonna go see the new Matrix movie because I've seen all the rest of them, so I'm there for them. I gotta go see it. Action.
No, Sonny, I haven't. I knew you were gonna ask me. I've not seen any of the Matrix movies.
I've seen the first one.
The first one was the best one.
I don't know how I can be in this community and not have seen the Matrix movies, but
because we're both brand new when it comes to this
new.
community.
I'm new to this.
Yeah.
Oh well, it make the.
And we're always going to be the brand new ones because everyone's always going to be that much farther ahead of us.
You can't think of it that way. You can't think of it that way.
That would be pretty cool.
Some of our buddies are just so damn smart at this. They really blow us. They blow me out of the water. I'm not going to speak for Chad.
Well, no, that's the same way.
Well, with Dave Scott and UFO Garage and Big Willie, I just feel like I can't keep up sometimes. They're too good at this.
Well, then don't worry about keeping up. Just worry about doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Don't compare. It's a trap to compare yourself.
Oh man, I don't even try to compare to them.
Yeah, Cassie told me that the other day. I was saying something. I was talking bad about the channel or something, or about my interview skills or something, and she was like, "Never compare. Don't ever compare yourself."
Yeah, we are getting better. I will say that we're getting way better.
Definitely getting better.
Yeah. But be a trendsetter. Don't try to follow a trend. Just be yourself and think about what you want and what you want it to be. I should work harder on my channel. I'm lazy. Don't be lazy. If you really want it to be something, don't be lazy.
Don't sleep in 5 minutes before the interview.
It happens.
Yeah, I was listening to Dave Scott last night doing an interview, and I was trying to form questions in my head, like what would I ask her next? And man, I was blanking hard.
I couldn't. There's no way. I would have just been staring at her eyes the whole time.
Just kept saying,
the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen in my life. Like she stole them from a cow. Her eyes are just the biggest, most beautiful thing. What was her name? I
don't know. It was she's from a
someone they were
country,
interviewing.
So yeah.
She was from Spain.
Oops.
Nice.
Was it Spain?
I think so.
Yeah. Madrid. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So trying to form questions, I was like, man, I don't even know what I would ask her next, because she would just go on and on and on and throw all these facts at him, and then that's where I would just go.
He asked her the same question once, and I skipped back. I was like, "What the hell?" I was trying to fast forward it, and I was like, "Oh no, that's him."
That's being nervous. That's being nervous. So when I've done I've done a couple of interview things, and I hope to do more. I basically did a little research on the people, and I came up with a list of questions. I just have a grid in front of me, and I have not a script, but and this way I know, that I want to go this and this and this and this, and it's sort of, beginning, middle, and a way to end it up, and it'll help you. It'll help you a lot.
Yeah, I need to study more interview styles and stuff like that, and see how people. Mm-hmm. I kind of got into this watching Joe Rogan.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he's got a totally different. Well, I started watching Stern first. Howard Stern and his interview style, and then
oh god,
like his interviews versus his normal show are totally two different.
Yeah,
his normal show is so raunchy and like it's got its own whatever, but his interviews are like, he is such a good interviewer. Is that the word? Yeah, interviewer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I went from him and then started watching Joe Rogan, and totally different interview style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He just sits down and he's like, all right, you tell me what's going on. And
I don't think I've ever watched a full thing of Joe Rogan.
I haven't either. I know of him, but yeah. No,
yeah, they usually go on for about 3 hours. And
wow.
He's been getting some really good guests.
He does get good guests. That's why I only see like clips of his show, because I'll watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important that you interview people that you're interested in what they do and what they have to say, and that should hand you the questions that you want to ask them. You know what I mean? So just get out there and watch more people and see what they're about. And if it really interests you, then the questions are just going to come to you, and then just, that's what I do. I've done live streams where I've got a whole script in front of me, with 1, 2, 3, 4, all the things that I want to do, all the things I want to share with people. I set up all the pictures ahead of time that I want to share, or if it's a video clip, and it just makes it a lot easier. So, and this way you keep going, there's no gaps, and it's cohesive. Yeah.
Yeah. The topic is a huge part of it. If you're very interested, like Sonny found out that your family's into racing, and then boom. That's the next topic.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier.
Especially for me. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. It's all my life is about. My husband's phone is constantly pinging, and it's this guy or that one, and this. I need a nose for the truck. I need a fuel cell. It's like, okay, and then he's okay. I got it. Because sometimes I walked into my house last night, and there was a box bigger than me standing next to my couch. Like, oh, great. And then he comes home and he's like, yeah, nose for the truck. Or it was a rear part for the truck. Yeah. He says, oh, what's his name is not gonna. And then he comes to me later. He goes, so-and-so knows about that. I was trying to keep it from him. I'm like, you can't keep anything from anybody. Who are you kidding?
The box is bigger than I am.
Box is bigger than I am. Yeah. No, they buy these pieces and they put them together, and it's all racing. All the time.
It's like going from those little model cars that you used to build when you were a kid, and now it's like the big version. We grew up, got bigger toys now.
My issue is that I have to watch him, because we're driving somewhere and he's yakking with his buddies, and he's like, yeah. Okay, there's another truck I have to go pick up. I'm like, what do you mean there's another truck? Stop buying trucks. Says, stop buying. No, I just need this one for the. I'm like, I know, but it's going to be in my driveway. Stop. He can't. And then somebody will call him, hey, I got the. He's like, oh. And then he'll look at me. Oh.
Well, the challenge up here too is, do you guys use salt on your roads?
Yes.
Yeah. The challenge around here is just finding something that doesn't have rust on it.
Oh, I know.
Whereas, like, where Sonny lives, he's like, what's rust? What is
that's
that?
not how nice. For us, it's, I got to hook the trailer up. Why don't you go for a ride with me? We're going 6 hours south to pick up something. I'm like,
gotta go down to North Carolina and pick something up.
Oh, that's nothing to him. I'm like, do I get lunch? You know, it's like,
Does your husband also build the frames?
yes.
Does he?
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
When he built
Yeah,
built his street stock a number of years ago, I remember the day he brought home he's like, here's the car. And I'm looking at just this metal thing.
Just straight bars.
And I'm like, he says, that's my new race car. Okay. And then he built a table to build it on. Okay. So he built this giant table thing and they built it. And then when he was done with it, he took that giant table and he made it the floor of a barn outside and he built a barn around it. But yeah, if I had a picture of the car, I'd share it with you. It was a beautiful car. Absolutely beautiful. It was a Camaro. So it was a street stock Camaro. And it was a beauty. It was a beauty. And he built it from these bars. He's like, "Oh, that's the car." I'm like, "Okay." Doesn't really look like a car, but yeah.
That's like when Rocky started the dragster, the 2-engine dragster, just straight bars in the shop. He said, "That's our dragster," basically like that. And I was like, "What are you talking about, dude? That's just a pipe."
That's just a pipe.
What the hell are you gonna do with that?
And he was so proud of it, and it ended up being, this beautiful car, and we go through all these, like, I gotta order metal, I gotta order steel, we gotta make roll bars, and he's like, there's these idiots at the track, they're trying to make roll bar out of a swing set. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh no.
I'm like, that's insane. He's like, that's nuts. They shouldn't even be allowed to race. So they throw.
They were just doing it to pass inspection.
Yeah,
that's not safe.
Can you imagine? I'm like, that's not protecting anything. And then he's got the we mount the GoPro in the car, and so we get all the race footage and everything, so we can analyze it. And
exactly.
So he lent at the end of one season. The season was pretty much done, and this was a postseason race. And a friend of his said, "Let me take the car out." So he let his friend take the car out. So I have video of my husband on the sideline and his car coming around the corner and flipping 4 times. And you hear my husband go, "Well, that's the end of the 44."
Man, that's a shame.
It's a crazy video. And we have the video from inside the car, but it kind of looks like this.
Not a whole lot to analyze there, huh?
No. I'm like, why did you lend him the car? He was able to fix the car, though. And then he did eventually sell the car. And the guy that bought the car year before last went on to win a championship with it. So he loves it.
Oh, cool.
That means he did a good job building that frame if it held up to that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The guy that he lent the car to usually drove, his race car was a G-body. It was a
G-body?
Yeah, an SS.
Oh, he was driving like a Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo, yeah. So I'm like, well, he obviously didn't know how to drive a Camaro because he got in it. And look what he did to
Way different.
But
Camaro, yeah.
He probably would have been dead had he flipped his car the same way he flipped my husband's car.
G-body is no frame. It's
yeah. So he's very lucky he was in my husband's car when he did that.
It's much amazing. Smaller car to be rolling too.
Yeah.
You should see the video. Oh man.
It's amazing what people live through with those roll cages.
Oh yeah, it was a good roll. Oh, my husband builds a roll cage for you. You're safe.
I see those guys flip in the dragsters sometimes, and I will go over and pull them out, and when I'm running up there, I know what to expect, and then when I pull them out, they get out and they're patting themselves down, and I'm telling them, "Are you okay?" And they're telling me, "I think so." Like, they can't even believe it. I mean, it's like that every time I pull one out. It's been like that. I haven't seen anyone get seriously hurt. Except for one time, a guy left his car in reverse. It's the burnout box. He ran over one of his pit members. Just a little bit bumped him.
Just a little bit, man.
He ran him over.
Dude, he left his car in reverse.
Oh my god!
Maybe the button might have failed on his trans brake. I don't know, but
right after something like that happens, your adrenaline's pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you are hurt, you might not know it right away. I was an EMT for 15 years, and right after something happens, I've had people. I had a patient one time who was obviously, and he pulled out with his pizza and got his car up to 80 miles an hour immediately. Said he reached down because he wanted to listen to Sloop John B one more time to put a cassette in, and he flipped his Jeep Cherokee. We find him rock wall, Jeep Cherokee upside down, nose down on the rock wall. And I, being the smallest person, because I'm 5'1", the smallest person on the crew, they're like, crawl in the car with the patient. Okay, so I crawl in the car with the patient. I'm like, and he's like, hey. I'm like, how you doing? He says, oh, I just wanted to listen to Sloop John B one more time. I'm like, right after you pulled out of the place with your pizza and hit the gas, you decided right then you should. Man. So he's laying there and he's just like, I'm holding his head. I see everybody in the fire crew's feet walking back and forth because they're trying to figure out how to get this guy out of this car. And we're up in there upside down. Glass everywhere. The pizza's in the back. I don't know, this crap everywhere. And he's just like, what's your name? He's like, if I asked you out, would you go out with me? I'm like, and my captain crawls in. He's like, how's it going? I'm like, oh, it's going.
I'm getting picked up right now.
Dude, we're just having pizza and a date.
Yep. First date, I think.
He's like, I hope I'm not holding up traffic. I look out the broken window. Lights for a mile or two. I'm like, nah. He said, I hope the car is not too banged up. No. It's fine.
We'll get you flipped over.
He took out half the phone pole. The pole is hanging. No. The car is upside down. He had no idea. Now, adrenaline plus alcohol, you are anesthetized.
So, yeah.
So sometimes you don't know right away.
Plus, you got pizza there. It's a good time.
Yep.
Pizza. He was on his dog's dish. I'm sure that didn't feel good. It was just crap everywhere.
Oh, jeez.
It was quite the. I enjoyed being an EMT. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna ask you if there was any link between paranormal and being an EMT. Did you ever witness any paranormal?
When you're on a call, when you're there, when you're trying to save somebody, or when somebody is really gone, you're keyed in on the job.
Mm-hmm.
At least I know I was. It didn't even occur to me to wonder about anything like that, because you're dealing with family members, you're dealing with the police, you're dealing with all those things. So I never crossed the two things at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a volley EMT for 15 years. And, I always say, I think I got more out of it than I gave as much as I could. And people would be like, oh, thank you so much for your service. It's like, you don't have to thank me profusely, because I got as much, if not more, out of it than I gave. The experience was very, very meaningful for me. So, and sometimes I miss it until I hear the siren go off at 4 a.m. on a winter night. Then I don't miss it.
Yeah. That's a very humbling job, especially volunteer. Gee, that's.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Volunteer?
Yeah, I was a volley. Yeah.
Wow. That's.
But you have to do the same training and the same testing and everything as the paid guys.
Yeah.
So, but
that's really cool that you did that. That shows what kind of a person you are, for sure.
But like I said, I got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. Well, that's really cool. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't do that job. We have another friend, Josh Casey, that comes on here all the time, and he was, I think he said a firefighter.
Okay.
I don't think he was an EMT, but yeah, he shares the same opinion I do. Like when you come up on a car accident like that, it stays for me. It just stays with me too long, and I think about it too much. And
right. But not everybody can do it. And I always said, not everybody can do it. Not everybody's meant to do it, but the people that can do it should consider doing it, because someone's got to do it.
Absolutely.
What I mean? We had guys on our fire crew. We'd get to a call and the fire department would get called out on the ambulance calls. So sometimes the fire truck would get there first. So we had one where I got to the call, got all my stuff out of the ambulance, and I'm going in, and one of our firefighters is coming out, and he's like, he's blue in the face, because he's one of those guys that if somebody is throwing up, he's like, oh, and that's it. So he's like running out the door.
I fight fires, not puke.
It's like, well, what'd you run your butt in there for then, firefighter? Why didn't you just wait for me?
Mr. Firefighter.
Dopey.
I think, don't firefighters have to be trained too for that, right? Because they're
Paid.
usually here before the ambulance is.
I know
Call 'em.
FDNY, if you're a firefighter, even if you're an EMT before you get into FDNY, they make you go to the EMT class again. You
I think
have
so
to be
too.
an EMT
Yeah.
in the FDNY. That's paid in New York City. I don't know if there might
think
be other
Cal-
departments that do that too, but we have a lot of volunteer departments where I live. So,
That's cool, man.
and they don't require it. My husband and my son are still firefighters, so
Oh, wow,
One
that's
time
awesome.
I got hurt and I had to call an ambulance, and the fire department showed up, and I was scared. I was like, "Oh, dude, I don't want to go to the hospital." And this
Oh.
kid walked in, and it was a guy I went to high school with, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm glad you're here, dude." It wasn't just that he was there; it was him. It was somebody I knew.
Yeah.
He was laughing at me.
No,
And you're always hurt.
it's scary, and some people don't want to call the ambulance, because they don't want to put people out. It's like that dialing 911. That's a big deal for most people. And then there's other people that are like, oh, what am I doing today? Oh, I think I'll call 911.
There's
Frequent
somebody
flyers.
outside shoveling his driveway and it's really
I didn't want
loud.
to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I wrecked a motorcycle and tore my meniscus plate in my leg, and I thought I broke it. I was like, I want to go.
And those are usually the people that need to go. That's what the thing, the joke is when you get a call for a possible heart attack and you walk in and the person's like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. And you're like, hang on, let me get my cuff. And then you walk in and the person's sitting there and the family's going, this and this and this happened. And the person's like, I'm fine. Just a little, and you're like, get in the ambulance right now.
It's just a little gassy. It's just a little gas.
I had one guy literally had an internal pacemaker. He had a pacemaker in his chest. And we got there and he's sitting in the kitchen. And I walk in, I'm like, hey, I'm Cynthia. How's it going? He goes, oh, it's all right. I said, what's happening here? He says, it shocked me. And generally, if you have it and it shocks you, you need to go, right? I said, oh, okay. Well, how many times did it shock you? He says, how many times has it been now, honey? 12? 11?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that happens to me. I just take an aspirin. I'll be fine.
And he's like, I don't feel that bad. I'm like, stretcher.
Quick, please.
Put him in the ambulance, right? And I got the medic with me because I'm an EMT, and then the medics are a step up. They can start IVs, yada yada. So we call the medic if we think we need advanced care. So I have the medic with me, and then I'm sitting there beside him. The medic is at his head talking to him and stuff. And he's like, yeah, and then some medic hooks him up to the 12 lead. And 12 lead, the machine's behind him. So, you're looking at the heart rate. And the medic's talking to me and looking at it. And he's talking to me and he's looking at it. And he looks at the guy and he's like, and the guy's like, yeah. And the medic's like, so we really kept an eye on him because when we got to the hospital, we dropped him off. The medic said he should not have been conscious with what we were looking at. So I was just waiting for him to code.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, okay.
How many times now? 12 times? It's like that thing's running out of batteries.
Well, that's exactly what happens. Can happen. If the battery is going to die, sometimes they'll start firing. And you have to go. They only last for about 9 years. And we asked him that. And we said, how long have you had it? He's like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years. Okay, let's go for a ride.
Supposed to keep an eye on those kinds of things,
Well, yeah. So, but then they have to go in and change it and yada, 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 And people are like, oh, I don't want to do that. I got so much to do. It's like, what's the choice? I got to get my Christmas shopping done or my heart.
Jeez.
People are funny, man. If that's the one thing I've learned being an EMT, some people are crazy. People are funny.
Stubborn.
Definitely
stubborn.
The stories I could tell you. I know. It's just I've got stories and
Mhm.
just funny ones and sad ones, you know, but it was a great experience. And I'm so thankful that I ever did it. So
I'm kind of interested in hearing a funny story.
Wait,
well,
so
I mean, they're funny to me. So I don't know if you're not in emergency services.
Yeah.
There's actually a really funny YouTube channel that you should check out, and he calls himself Fire Department Chronicles, I think.
Mm.
This dude is hilarious. He green screens himself into these 911 shows that are on TV
Yeah.
and fixes them, but he also does the funniest skits. And he is obviously a firefighter paramedic. I
Oh,
mean, for
okay.
real.
Yeah.
He's a bald guy. He's funny as hell. Check him out. But yeah, I had one call. We got to the house, and the call was possible heart attack. So I get to the front of the house, and I get out of the rig, and you got to get your bag, and you got to get all the stuff, right? And I hear like screaming, which is always a great way to start a call. It's like, okay. And they're like, okay, let's go. We're like,
Urgent.
so we go. And then this young man comes out from behind the house and he's like, this way, this way, this way. They were obviously Spanish speaking people. And I do not speak, you know, but a smattering of Spanish. Okay. So we follow him around and the father comes out. I said, what's going on? He goes, wife. I'm like, what? Is your wife having a possible heart attack? Where is she? But of course I'm walking toward the screaming. And I see, as I walk around the side of the house, in the backyard, a woman sitting in a chair, screaming, and she's all twisted up.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, but she's sitting up in the chair. So I go over to her, and she's like, she's screaming. I'm like, ma'am, we're here to help you. We're here to help. Well, what turns out to have happened, and the reason she was twisted up was something, she didn't feel well, and somebody said to her, oh, you're having a heart attack, scared her so badly that she started screaming so much that her husband and her son took her outside and sat her in a chair outside the house.
What?
Okay. I'll never understand to this day why. So this poor woman is in the backyard on a chair screaming, and she's twisted up. And the reason she's twisted up is because the more you scream, the more shallow you breathe, which means that you are denying your lungs cannot get enough oxygen into your blood. You're becoming hypoxic. And what your body will do is take it away from your extremities. So as she screams, she's getting all twisted up.
Oh, my God.
So
That is strange.
the medic came back with me, and he said, we need a paper bag. I'm like, oh, what? So we literally got a paper bag and held it to her mouth.
Yeah.
And we said, it's okay. And she calmed down. Her body relaxed. And
What?
she was not having a heart attack, by the way.
What is the deal with that? I've seen that paper bag method before. Is that just like a breathing technique?
Yeah, basically what the paper bag is doing is she's breathing too shallow, and you change your drive. It's like people who have COPD. I don't know if you've ever heard of COPD, but we breathe to get oxygen in. They need to get breathing is 2 steps. You bring oxygen in, but you have to get carbon dioxide out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you hyperventilate yourself, you're switching the drive.
Oh.
And so when you put the bag in front of them, they'll breathe out and then they'll breathe in the carbon dioxide. You'll still get some air, but it will slow you down because it'll help switch the drive back.
Okay.
And then she calmed down, and then we could take the bag away. It's a very old-fashioned thing. I'm sure it's not in his medic protocols, but he realized that that's what was happening to this woman. Very, very astutely realized that that was what was happening to this woman. And then when she calmed down, we were able to have somebody who spoke Spanish and translate and check her out. And I do believe we transported her, but we transported her BLS. We didn't need the medic. She wasn't having a heart attack. Probably ended up with an anxiety attack because whoever told her she was possibly having a heart attack just set her off and scared her so much. But that's I could still hear her. I could close my eyes and hear her.
I got that reference too. Basic life support, right? ALS and BLS?
ALS is basic life support. ALS is advanced life support.
See, I'm damn near a paramedic.
Oh, yeah. But definitely check out Fire Department Chronicles. He is.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
We love him. He is hilarious.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Melissa had a good question in the chat. What's the strangest thing you've heard someone say before coding? That's a good question. They're coming for me.
No. It just it happens pretty quickly, but usually they're in some discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's usually I don't feel well, or it hurts, or something like that, depending on what's causing it. But the fellow that I was talking about before, we ended up watching the 12 lead, and he didn't code, but we thought he was going to. So that would have been interesting, because he was just like chattering away.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were done, the medic came back. He's like, I wonder if there's something wrong with my machine. So I don't know what was going on with that guy. So he just got very lucky that day.
Huh.
But yeah, no, I can't remember anything out of the ordinary, because it usually happens very quickly. Like there was one bad call that I was on, and this man, I don't want to scare people, but he had a blood clot, and he could feel it coming up his leg toward his torso. And he was yelling, and then suddenly he wasn't anymore. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well,
on that note.
Yeah, on that note, have you had anyone pass and then come back and then say that they saw anything from the other side?
I have never had the opportunity to speak to someone who's had a near-death experience. I would like to, but I have not had the opportunity to speak to anybody personally.
Yeah, that's super interesting to me.
Yeah.
Where so many of them say that they've seen the same thing, like a bright white light. That's always a first. Bright white light. Super bright, brighter than I've ever seen. It's like, what are they seeing?
I'd love to talk to somebody. Like, you should find somebody to interview who's had an experience like that, because that would be a really interesting interview.
Yeah, we've had at least one. Right, Sonny? Eddie was on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he's had that experience?
Papa Willie, too. He's explained that before.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we had an interview with Eddie. His alias is Eddie Haskell.
Yeah.
And
I know what that name is from.
I actually didn't because of my references, but I didn't when I first heard it.
But you're also young. You're young. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, my goodness. Of course you don't know what that's from.
I do now. But yeah, when I first heard it, I'm like, what is that? Where is that from?
I remember
Dick
the
Van
show.
Dyke. You probably don't know that one either.
Who Dick Van Dyke is.
Yeah, Chad, look, it blows me away.
So, isn't he? What a cutie.
I don't know anything. I don't get your references.
But that's all right, because we probably won't get his. So
true. Yeah, actually, what changes the most, I think, is music. I've noticed, like, as I'm getting older, the music that I used to like, well, not the music I used to like, but like the music in the time that what am I trying to say?
Oh, no.
Like, I was in high school, the music that I liked then, and then the stuff that's popular with high schoolers now they're two totally different worlds.
He's getting old. He's doing those damn kids listen to that music.
I am.
I don't know how they listen to that new shit.
I know, and I never thought I'd be that person, but now I'm
boys,
listening to
let me show
music.
you
I'm like,
some
what
Cypress
is
Hill.
this?
Oh, I know. Well, my husband and my son, I'm trying to learn, but they play the guitar. So we're all about the classic stuff in our house because, I mean, but we're huge Mark Knopfler fans and Joe Bonamassa and Neil Young. My husband loves to play the Neil Young music, so, but my son is 26 years old, but he's into the old stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, because he's got taste.
Mm-hmm.
Good taste.
Yeah, have you heard of the band Greta Van Fleet?
Yes.
They're from not too far from here, Flint, Michigan.
Oh.
And yeah, they used to play in they just were a small town band for a while, playing in bars and doing small gigs in restaurants and stuff like that. And now they're huge. Now I can't see them.
Yeah, well, that's the normal way to, not The Voice or American
Right.
Idol, or that's the normal way that groups used to come up.
Yeah, I'm hoping more of them come up that way because
well, they have to have
got some good
talent.
jams.
They have to have real talent and ability, and no auto tune.
No auto tune.
Oh no, man! There's another YouTuber that I love to watch called Wings of Pegasus. He's a British guy. But he's all about teaching you how to pick up on whether or not they're using auto tune. I love him. He's a doll.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the auto tune stuff.
No. Except for T-Pain. I forgive T-Pain because he's so sweet. I like T-Pain, and he actually purposely used it. He made that whole album with the auto tune on purpose. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, can't hate on T-Pain.
I can't hate on T-Pain. I would never hate on T-Pain.
Got some good jams.
Yeah.
What? Let's see. What was the other thing? Oh, that's what it was. Battlefields. Have you experienced anything in a battle or gone on like an investigation into old battlefield?
Gettysburg. We have
Really?
This year was our 4th year going to Gettysburg. Ray and I, and we drag our spouses now.
Oh,
and we have done live streams from the battlefields, which is a little tricky because wishing we had a satellite uplink or something. The cell is really bad.
Okay.
Got a number of videos from the battlefields, and they're cool. They close at dusk. I think you can't go on them at night, but we did go to a place called the Grove, and the Grove is in Gettysburg, and it's right outside of town, and it's not considered an official battlefield. However, battle did happen there, so we like to go there, and this is the 2nd year in a row we went to the Grove and got a lot at the Grove. And the interesting thing about the Grove, it's at the bottom of Cemetery Hill. And what happened in the Grove was the fighting bled into this area, which is swampy, right? And they fought so severely that they ran out of ammunition, or how long it took to load those old powder rifles. And they ended up, and I don't know how, but they ended up fighting with like the limbs of the dead guys. I mean, it was like a wicked fight that went on in this Grove area. So we actually did live stream from there. We were there with the guys from Three Souls Paranormal this past October. God, the days are bleeding into one. I can't remember. We were there this fall, and we were there and they were wonderful. And we were there, and then we were at another small area right in a neighborhood, but obviously was a place where troops were because they've got monuments there now. And it was very cool. And the Grove, if you ever get to Gettysburg, go to the Grove.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take those radios there?
What did I take with me? I took with me this setup I have here, which is the amp with the noise killer pedal. And I took that with me, and I had that hooked up to a 587, the little black radio when we were in the Grove. Trying to remember if I took the green. I think I took the green radio with me too. And I had a couple of radios with me, and then they had their own equipment too. When you travel, you pack everything up, and I try to like pare it down because I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to try to use everything,
That's how I would be. I'd have so much gear. I love gear. I'd have totes and boxes full of gear and radios and batteries and flashlights and
But then when you march into the woods, you can take just so much with you, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it was good. We had a really good time there with them. And then also, I mean, all of Gettysburg, so much of it is battlefield, and so much went on there in that 3 days. It was just 3 days of battle, but so much went on there. But it's interesting because in the middle of Gettysburg, and the battle happened in the town, you know, bullets were flying, but this doesn't have to do with the battle. In the town, there was a gift shop, a metaphysical shop where I had bought a number of things. And I guess the year before, some guy lost control of his car and crashed into the building, set the whole thing on fire. I mean, I remember people live streaming that night from the fire. So when we came out of the grove and we came out of the woods, and we were all we got some hamburgers from McDonald's, and we all stood in front of that burned out building and ate them. It's like, this is 2 paranormal teams standing in front of a place where a fella died in a building that was ravaged, eating our hamburgers.
Yeah.
Like, it's so apropos. But they were
just
great.
waiting to see if anything wants to come out and talk to us.
Yeah. So they were great guys. So we had a wonderful time with them.
Did you have any success with the radios there?
Yeah. And I have a couple of videos on my channel from this past year, and the live stream from the Grove, which is very good, which is very cool, because we had some good stuff during.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I don't know why that's so interesting to me.
Yeah, no, it's the coolest place. It really is. It really is. We go every year now, so. Although next year we're thinking of going to Antietam or somewhere else, but we've gone 4 years in a row. And everybody who lives in the town is totally into the history, and a lot of them are into the paranormal part of the history. It's an amazing place.
Yeah, I need to check that out. I don't think it's too far from me.
Ray drives there. It was like 9 or 10 hours for him.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Definitely. Well, you know, maybe you can meet us there next year.
Hey, I could do that. You'd be the one telling me, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't."
Absolutely.
Be afraid. I'd be shaking in my boots.
Absolutely.
Now on the radio, going, "I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid." With your gun.
Yeah, I'll scream if you need me.
Now, do you guys do paranormal, or is this basically interviews? Is what you're going to be doing, or what is your story?
Pretty much just interviews. Yeah, I haven't really. That's why I'm kind of getting into this, the podcasting side of things, because I'm interested in a wide range of all this stuff, but I haven't experienced really anything.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there's people in the chat that'll be like, I bet Chad's experienced more than he can imagine, and he's just never seen it or whatever. But,
doesn't realize it.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I did the walkthrough thing, not because I'm going to start doing that, but because we talk to a lot of people that do what you do, and I felt I needed to go in there for myself and try to do what you guys are doing, just to see for myself.
That's cool.
And definitely got a newfound respect for it. So yeah, it's not something I'm going to go do again, but now I kind of understand what your guys are, because at first I was like, okay, it's not that they are full of shit, but they could be, you know. But then once I experienced that for myself, now I know that they're not full of shit. This stuff really happens, guys. So I wanted that for myself. That way,
that's awesome.
When I talk to someone like you now I can kind of get that feeling when you're telling the story. I'm like, yeah, I've had that feeling. It goes through me. I feel it again.
Right. Well, there's a lot to be said for the experience or experiencing something when you're alone, because there's not somebody else saying, come on, this is there's nothing. It's just you. It's just you. And then when something like that happens, it's a whole different thing. And one night I was coming home, it was 10 o'clock at night, and there had been this, we have a lot of little cemeteries that are right in, looks like they're on people's property, but they're owned by the town. The people can't own them anymore, but they're just left there. They're kind of abandoned. And so I pulled off the side of the road. There was like one little parking spot on the side of the road. And I knew that these stairs, there was a little cemetery up there, and I had been meaning to stop there 10 o'clock at night. So I took my IR camera And I went up the steps, and I forgot to bring my phone or a flashlight with me. So all I had was the IR camera to see where I was going. And I was all by myself in this little cemetery off the side of the road. And it's kind of a heady feeling, you know. I don't want to say it's Zen-like, but it's very, I can't think of a good word for it. You'll just have to try it. Like, go to a cemetery at night by yourself.
Just relaxing
and
soothing.
see, it's
Humbling.
It's like you're alone, but you're listening to every sound. You know, you're listening to every sound. And when that happens, it's kind of like I've told people, when I have real contact with spirit, I have an experience called what I call cone of silence. Like, I can be among people, and then all of a sudden I'll feel this cone of silence come around me. And I know that a spirit is trying to contact me. That kind of happens, you know, like, it's just you know, and you're listening to every sound. And it's almost like you don't want to speak, but if you don't speak, your video is very boring. So.
Yeah. I just lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you something about that.
That's all right.
Oh, the silence. That's a very common thing. I mean, with Bigfoot researchers, with alien contactees, with everyone says that if you're out in the woods and everything just gets really quiet all of a sudden, then it means that you're in you're about to experience something, or you're in a situation where it's the veil's thinner or something.
And that's out of the ordinary, because the world is not a quiet place.
Mm-mm.
You know, and if you're out in the woods, it shouldn't be silent. I would have experiences, and I would be just like in the mall. And then I would, all of a sudden, I would feel this cone of silence develop around me.
Even
and I
in
knew
the mall?
in the mall, I could be among people, and I would feel it.
Wow.
And then I would hear my name being called. And that was one of the experiences I had when I was a young girl, is I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would hear this woman's melodic voice calling me, but calling me Cindy, which is something only my family calls me. But I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I would know I'm wide awake. And then I would hear this voice going, Cindy, Cindy. And it would just scare the crap out of me. And there were a number of times where I would, like, my parents' bedroom was down the hall, and I'd be like, Mom, Dad, is that you? And my father would wake up. He'd be like, go to sleep. I have to go to work in the morning. You know, and I'd be like, and then I could be in public, and I could have that, all of a sudden, that cone of silence form around me. And then I would start to hear that same exact thing. And, you know, when you're among people are like, hey, Cindy, hey, Bubba, you know, you can tell when it's a human being calling out to somebody. Whereas that voice, that same voice that would call to me at night, would do this to me in a public place. I have never figured out who it was. Never figured it out. And it stopped when I hit my later 20s. It stopped. So I have no idea who it was.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
It bothered me.
Does it? Yeah.
It bothered me a lot back then. It bothered me a lot.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah. So, but whoever it is, I hope that they don't need me anymore, or they've found peace.
Yeah, what do you think? What is it that keeps people here? That keeps them from, you know, transitioning over, whatever that's called?
Well, I have a couple of opinions on that. One opinion is that they're always here. We just transitioned, but we're still here. That's one opinion. From a physical to a
right, and then
we're always here. We're always here, somewhere, whatever here is. The other opinion is that there are layers of whatever the other place is. And then some move on and some don't. Now, the reasons for that, maybe they don't want to. You know, I've had many spirits tell me that they're afraid, that they don't remember who they are, and maybe they're confused. I don't know.
So some of them don't even remember who they were.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I've had that told to me a number of times, that they don't remember who they are. I had one time I did a session, and this is a long time ago now. I did a session in this back room in my house, and no radio. And it was just literally my camera and the mic on my camera. And I was asking questions, and I heard this woman's voice, and she sounded far away. And all she said was, "I'm so alone." And
Oh
it was,
no.
if you listen to, it's one of my videos. It's like, "I'm so alone." And it was so beseeching. It was so heartbreaking because I didn't hear it in real time. I didn't hear it. My camera mic picked it up until I listened back to the video, and I heard it. And I was like, "Oh, I wish I had heard her," but I didn't. I didn't have my ears. My bare ears didn't have the capability, but the mic on the camera picked it up. And it was just so sad.
Yeah, that's really sad. I can't even
Really,
imagine.
really, really sad.
So
Really
they must get to a point where they're not really sure where they are or what's going on.
And that's like horrifying. Like I always think, when I pass, I hope I have like a job waiting for me on the other side or something. Like, I'll work. I don't mind working, like I don't want to be confused. And in my mind, that's the big question. Like, why can we even converse with anything on the other side? Why are they here? Why haven't they moved on? Is there anywhere to move on to? What if there isn't? There was there was a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, used to be on TV years ago. And it has always stuck with me. There was one episode where the guy, and I don't remember what his name is, he ended up starring in some show called Bones, but he was like the main male character, was dealing with the devil, and the devil owned like this ad agency or something, right? And he's like, "I want to go down to hell. You have to send me down to hell." There was some reason he wanted to go down to hell. So they're in the ad agency, and the devil goes, "Okay, I'm going to send you down to hell." And he put him in the elevator, and he sent the elevator down. The elevator is going down, 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 and it opens up to the street.
I was going to say, you're already here.
Yep. Yeah. And that has stuck with me all these years. Like,
Huh.
Yeah.
We're already here.
That's it. Interesting, right?
Yeah, that conversation. That's weird. That's the second time I've heard about that today.
Oh, really?
That this is a spot for judgment, or not judgment, but for learning and trying to figure out what's more important, and it's like a spot for lessons, I guess. And maybe that's what hell really is to people that are like from beings that aren't from here or whatever, like a spirit that is always in a state of bliss and everything's cool. But then like when you're here, this is where you're supposed to like get down to business and get your priorities straight. I don't know if that would be really considered hell, but
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's biblical canon or not. But what I've heard is that hell is being out of its presence, your creator's presence. So I don't know.
That's a good way to, yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever know, because the sessions I've done and the spirits I've talked to don't seem to know.
Oh.
Right. So everybody says, "Oh, you'll know when you die." Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
That's interesting.
Right, right. And some of them are angry. Some of them are just downright pissy, So why are you so angry?
Yeah, I wonder if time is a concept for them. Like if
No.
like I've been here for 20 years and I'm still not going over.
I don't think so. And time is a human construct, and I don't think it is.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't get that sense.
I guess that's a good thing, maybe, since
But one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, one less thing to worry
anywhere
about.
at any particular time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I did do one session though where I was talking to the spirits about, I was asking them what year they were born, and they said 2054.
What?
I know. I'm like, because there's this whole thing about dimensions and time. Again, I don't know if that's just a good story or a human idea, but that's what they said. They said that they were, it's a video I did. It says something about like my children from the future or something, because I can't remember what else was said, but that was the video. And that's what they told me. They said they were born in 2054.
Wow.
So, interesting stuff. I know. You
Super interesting.
never know what you're going to get. You just, it's like a box of chocolates.
That's what this whole podcast is all about so far. Just like, what?
I bet you got that movie reference though, right?
Yes. Tom Hanks.
There you go.
Thank God. Thank God I got that one. I would have had to get kicked off my own show for that.
Got to get Forrest Gump, man.
Got to
If
get
nothing
Forrest
else,
Gump.
you got to get Forrest Gump.
Yep. That's like a 3-hour movie, isn't it? It's a really long one.
Yeah.
Yep. Got to get that one.
I got to take a break for a minute. I got to let the dog out.
Sonny, let the dog out. All right, man.
I'll be right back.
No problem. Let's see. Somebody said in the comments. I like this one. Sweetly Morbid Bear says, we help babies into the world yet fail at helping them back home to spirit. Much of a man's mentality that is taught keeps many here. Much of a man's mentality that is taught keeps many here. Oh, okay.
Now, who was the ancient Egyptians were their life had a lot to do with what they thought was going to happen in the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if many other cultures have been so involved in their afterlife. I'm sure many more have. I mean, the Mayans, well, no, a lot of the things they did was to help them here, even though they were crazy things. But yeah, the ancient Egyptians. And I was very into ancient Egypt when I was younger, because when I was a little girl, the Tutankhamun exhibit came to the Museum of Natural History in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And it greatly affected me. And it was back in the day, it was in the 60s when you could like touch stuff, and it really affected me for years. I read so much about ancient Egypt and their culture and their religion, their beliefs about the afterlife were vast, just vast. So very interesting stuff.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Did they?
It was just part of their culture. Their lives were, everything that they did in life had something to do with what they believed they would have to do, the trials they would have to go through in the afterlife, because they believed that when you died, you had to go through all these tests and you had to know the answers and you had to have the answers in order to get to whatever their heaven was. I don't even remember where it was they were trying to get to, but they had the Book of the Dead, and they had all these rituals, and when the pharaohs and the other royalty, when they were buried, those are the ones you always hear about. They were buried with horses and animals and food and just all kinds of
chariots and
things to take with them that they would have. So once they passed their tests, then they would have all these things in the afterlife. So I mean, it was very like based on your stuff. You know what I mean? But it was all these tests, and that all the gods that they had all had tests for them in the afterlife. So very interesting history.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, Sonny. Oh, okay. He's got
and he's gone. That's okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never thought about that. How the Egyptians they are about stuff. Like they were buried and entombed with the stuff that was important to them.
Right.
And
the wealthy ones were anyway.
Yeah.
The royalty and the rich ones were. The regular people weren't entombed that way. But of course, all we hear about is that because it's lasted through time and we've found them, but the average ancient Egyptian still believed all those things, but didn't have all the stuff, to go with it. But this was their belief system, was that they would be tested on all these different levels in the afterlife in order to get to wherever it was they were trying to get to. I don't know. It's been a long time. But, it's very interesting stuff. And I'm sure they're not the only culture.
Yeah, I can't remember what group of people it is now, but maybe Native Americans. But when they're, I don't know about when they die, but when they're living, it's like they don't hold on to stuff. So it's like they get something, they enjoy it in the moment, and then let it go back to the world.
That's because I think that a lot of Native Americans feel that they are part of the world. And the world is part of them. And so they look for balance, and I've watched a lot of videos and read a lot of stuff about like the Lakota people and the Apache, and it's very interesting. But they're much more attached to the earth, as their mother, So
yeah, and to keep that balance too, where I had it and now you can have it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's cool.
Yeah, that it is. If you can live that way, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I earned it. I want it.
Yeah. Well, that's the way we are.
even art. I saw. I don't know where I'm getting this from. It was a documentary or something I watched, but it was like even art that somebody made for somebody else in the family. They would enjoy the art and look at it and talk about it for a second and then throw it over a cliff. And it's like, I worked hard on that.
Wow.
But it was like, I already enjoyed it. I already got what I wanted out of it. Why do you want me to keep holding on to it for so long?
I'll remember it.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky, I will remember it.
I always have it right here.
Nice. That's nice. Wow.
Melissa says there was a Native American tribe that didn't have a word for mine because they believed in sharing everything.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I don't know. Let's see, Sonny. Where do you want to go from here, bud? We're at 2 hours. How long of interview have you done before?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'd probably keep it under that amount of time, and this has actually been wonderful. I really appreciate you guys having me on.
No, it's been awesome. Yeah, appreciate you coming on with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're always welcome back again.
See some friends in chat. Hi, Trixie Cat. Cassie, thanks so much.
Oh, Cassie's awesome.
Cassie is awesome.
She's been hooking us up with all of our most recent interviews and guests that have been on the show, and she's doing a lot of work backstage.
Yeah,
keeping everything moving.
Cassie is wonderful. Well, I think I'm going to head out then because I'm going to go to work.
Yeah, no problem. And your channel again is Purgatory Paranormal of New York, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Correct. And we will link that in the description.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice. I'm pretty sure I already did,
but yeah, we'll put it in the chat too. I think Cassie.
Do you have anything coming up on your channel you want to talk about before you go?
It's very cold out. I am planning to do a couple of things in the new year, but nothing immediate. So just the usual live streaming every Monday and hopefully videos up every week. Hopefully.
Staying warm.
Okay.
Staying warm. You guys too. Well, here in California, so is it pretty warm there where you are? Are you up north?
It's cold as hell right now. Well, it's warm outside because the sun's out.
Wait, define cold as hell.
Exactly. It's like 55 or something.
I bet it
Unbearable.
Unbearable.
Okay, so it's like 8 degrees right now.
How cold it is right now.
Oh no.
It was 39 when I came out here, but now it's 43.
Okay.
43.
That is pretty brisk for California.
For California, yeah, I was going to say, I'll give you that because you're used to warmer weather.
That is. Well, thanks again, guys. I hope you have a great day. Thanks to everybody in chat.
Absolutely. You're always welcome back.
Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful day.
You do the same. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye. Well, that was cool, Sonny. Yeah, we have to remember that people aren't used to doing 3-hour podcasts.
I just thought about that.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that she spent the time with us.
Yeah, that was cool. That's that spirit box stuff, man. That's some scary stuff to me.
I know. I almost wanted her
voices come over that. It's different.
Yeah, I was wanting her to just pull one of those off the shelf and get her cranked up, but then I was also worried that we were going to get some bad messages or something like, Chad, your podcast sucks. No.
I get those all the time. Just ignore them.
You just got to ignore them. Ignore the haters, the hater ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never messed with one of those spirit boxes before or even watched anything about them. I didn't know how those worked. That's pretty cool.
I've seen a few things where they've used them, watching it on here on YouTube and stuff. And yeah, that's how it works. Like she was explaining. That's why I asked him what would happen if you use the old school dial one, because could you just tune in on the ghost?
Right.
I didn't know if it had to keep moving or
you gotta sit there and keep moving it back and forth.
You have to keep going back and forth.
Wonder if they have one where you can just turn it one direction and it starts at one end.
In loops?
In loops, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. Because it's on a rubber band. They're the old ones.
Oh,
it's moving that dial.
Did you see what Cassie sent me?
Oh, that's cool, man.
Got the Mystic Oracle deck. Mystic Martian. I got 2 of them in the mail. I was kind of confused for a second, but I remembered that one of them has to go to Dave. So now I got to figure out how to ship something all the way up to Dave. It's going to take a while.
Yeah,
I shipped something really small and light. It was something I 3D printed up to Canada, and it was like a 2-week process. So we'll see.
He's not very far from me. We're in the same time zone. I could just drive it up there.
Yeah, you could just cruise it up there. I'll send it to you. You drive it up to...
Cass was right next to him. She could have just took it. She's even closer to him than I am.
Yeah. What is Melissa sending me back here? Fish with see-through head. Oh, I've already seen that one. And then what is this thing? A TikTok video? Oh, geez. Melissa Nicole TikTok video.
Uh-oh.
We probably can't play that on here. I wonder what this is going to be about.
Oh, man.
The Chad Smith podcast. Oh, no, I'm worried. Are you sure, Melissa? What is this?
You want to drop the link? See if she
Look.
wants to come in here?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Or Oracles might want to come in.
Anybody can come in. Yeah, we're just hanging out now, guys. If anybody wants to come in, there's the link in the chat. This is the part where Ma dips out because the chat revolves around Chad's deck. Listen, Melissa, okay? Keep it PG up in here, or at least PG-13. I'll have to watch it from the beginning. Yeah, Gypsy, thanks for hanging out with us. Now, let's see. Who else is in here? Thin Lizzie, thanks for being with us from the beginning. I saw you. Is these better hours for you guys on the West Coast? I know it is for Sonny, for sure.
It is for me. Yep. Where's Spooky at? Did he make it in here? I didn't.
Yeah, Spooky was in here earlier. If I remember. Yeah, he was in here earlier. Probably passed out. We keep him busy. He was saying that he wanted me and Josh and you and Spooky to do a watch party of the most recent UFO Garage episode.
That'd be cool because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it all anyway.
Me neither.
I told Dan I would watch it. So.
Oh, my signal's
I guess you're not going to bed. No, I'm joking.
Oh, God. At least I got personal days back. Chad Smith 592 calling in for a personal day on the second day back of work.
Yep.
Says my signal's dropping. Am I blurry? Now it says I'm fine.
Yep. Mine did that a second ago too. Mine dropped, but I didn't go blurry, I don't think.
Yeah, I get a little warning at the top. It's like a Wi-Fi thing.
I don't know why it does that. Ours has done that before while we were live, and I'll go do a speed check, and it's fine. When it starts doing that, I have to reset this, and then it fixes everything. It's like I have a good signal, but this is showing I don't. It's weird.
That's strange. Yeah, my router's in the living room, and now I'm in the new studio.
You're not hardwired into the router?
No.
Oh.
Nope, I've never been hardwired into it.
Really?
Yep.
Dude, you hardwire into it, and it'll be really fast. That's easy. That's just the green phone line.
I wonder what speed I'm running at right now. Let's do a check.
Well, kind of like a phone line. It's a little bigger. Don't go out and buy a phone cord.
Cat 5 cable. I'm at 230 megs right now.
Chris is here. I'm going to bring him in.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. What's up, Chris?
How's it going, buddy?
Chris. That's
Hey,
weird.
can you hear us? I heard him there for a second.
Yeah, I'm here. I just had to
Okay.
mute the channel.
Oh, right on.
Okay,
How's it
I'm not
going, man?
echoing, am I?
No, fine.
Okay, cool.
Yep, you're good. I saw
How
you
you
in
doing
the...
today, man?
I'm doing great, man. I just got off work, tuned in, listening to the show, and
Right on.
right now I'm sipping on hot chocolate.
I seen that in a
good,
message.
That sounds real good.
Man, since I've been watching the show, it's like raised 20 degrees up here when the sun finally came out. We started at like 30, and now we're at 50.
Oh, cool. Where are you at again?
Texas.
Oh, okay. It's 30 in Texas?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
it was in the morning.
Yeah.
Because we had like a freeze this weekend.
I don't know. For some reason, us Michiganders up here, we just assume that Texas is always just hot.
Yeah,
No.
it can be. It can be.
It gets
Most
cold.
of the time, it's usually hot.
That's what people think about California too, but it gets cold here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always just assuming that California is just smoldering all the time.
You know what, Chad? They here where we have our citrus trees.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen those big fans, the big energy wind turbines. that
Yeah.
spin? Okay, we have things similar to that. They're not quite as tall or big, but they're pretty damn close. They're in the orange fields. They're big, huge white fans.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll hear these things turn on at night. And, dude, it sounds like a squad of airplanes are coming at you, echoing from the fields.
Really?
Yeah, that's to keep the air moving so the oranges don't freeze. That's how we keep them from freezing. Turn fans on. We used to use
Wow, I've
smudge
never
pots.
heard that before.
They don't let us use smudge pots no more. That was just big drums filled up with diesel. Road, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Listen to my buddy talk about Fresno, the oranges, the freeze over. Actually, when it does freeze over in Fresno, it does do a lot of damage to the grapes, oranges, and all that. So I think it's like 40 degrees when it gets below. It's pretty bad out there.
Yeah, yeah, it gets down sometimes. I've seen 18 here easily.
Chad, can we have a tour of your new studio? I don't know how I would do that. I'd have to get up and grab the camera and... I mean, I guess that's all I'd have to do.
Did you get that new setup yet? That you showed me?
I actually miss Fresno, man. I actually miss it.
Do you?
I'm kind of tired of Seattle.
Oh yeah.
Tired of all the rain, the snow, being trapped in. You know, I mean, the only thing you got to worry about in Fresno was sometimes you get rain, and then that's about it. Yeah, you'll once in a while get a little cold, but not like any other state.
What do you think? I know I moved to Washington as a teenager for like 6-7 months. The people up there, the way they drive when it's foggy in Washington, they don't know what fog is, but they go like 10 miles an hour, and I'm like, what are they doing?
You don't know what fog is because I used to live, you probably know this town called Kerman. You know, that's the town I was actually raised in. And we always go to Fresno. And every time you go to the concerts, you know, you get in the back of a truck and you got to worry about that fog. And you know, and you always got, and you got certain lights. People have yellow lights trying to see through. I mean, it's thick. People don't understand. It's thick. And they can stay there all day. I remember waking up like, is it foggy day schedule for school? You know, 2 hours late. Yeah.
Every day.
Even though we walk to school.
In winter, we usually didn't have to go to school till 10 out where he lives and where I live. I live in Easton, so you know where that's at.
Yeah.
In Layton, Easton. Yeah. All those places. Yeah.
Man, in San Antonio, all it has to do is rain, and we got car wrecks up the wazoo. You can't drive in any kind of weather. I mean, just raining. That'll kill us.
Shuts the town down.
Bring us to a halt. That's how terrible we are about here in our traffic.
Oh, that's terrible.
So is this a normal time you guys do a show? Like you guys do like 6 a.m. Pacific time?
7 now.
7 now, yep.
Yeah. We used to start at 5. but we just changed. This is the first show we started at 7.
Okay.
And the early time like that is because I'm over here in Michigan Eastern time, and I work midnights, so I was getting out of work at 6 in the morning and then coming home, and I'd get home around 7-ish and fire the podcast up about 8. And then, but yeah, we were getting a lot of like, hey, I'm on the West Coast, and if you guys could just start a little early or a little bit later, that'd be great.
I know you can't win because we used to do live shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. But because of some jobs and stuff, I moved it to Wednesday night at 8:30 Pacific time. But in the East Coast, that's 11:30. It's hard to do that sweet spot because during the sweet spot, we're still at work, getting home, making dinner.
Right.
A lot of my friends' channels, they start at 6 p.m. East Coast time, but I'm still getting home making dinner and stuff,
Oh yeah.
It's not easy.
We got lucky with our spot on our Friday show for Paranormal Chop Shop. We got 6 p.m. Pacific time. So that's a pretty good one. That one's okay.
And you only do yours on Fridays at 6?
That's
the
other channel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Paranormal
we have another
Chop
channel
Shop.
that we share, Paranormal Chop Shop.
Yeah, that's Chad's channel too.
That's usually my movie date
sometimes.
night.
What's that?
Usually at that time, it's usually Friday nights is my wife and I movie night, date night.
Oh.
We have one of those AMC memberships, and we just go. And
Me too.
That's why I like sticking to just the podcasting, because that way it's just like it's out when you get it, download it, listen to it whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, and the dead air you can edit the dead air out.
I don't know if I could ever live stream like you guys. You guys can,
but it's fun talking to people.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like it. I like it because of stuff like this. Like we finished early with our first guest, and now we can bring people in out of chat, and this is awesome to me.
I missed it.
I like seeing everyone in chat.
I love you missed it. Purdy in New York, she's awesome. We've been friends forever, and I
that's cool.
I gotta watch the beginning because she's fantastic.
Yeah,
she's got some good stories. She's got some.
Talked a lot about drag racing. I loved it.
Yeah. I can't help it, man. When she brought up those,
I knew it.
Yeah, that truck. When she said truck, I was like, he's racing an off-road truck. I know he's not racing an outdoor truck. Man, that's awesome.
No, I use some of her paranormal videos sometimes when I do my breaking news stuff for Saturday.
Oh, cool, man.
Because she's got a lot of great footage, and she's the real deal. She's not an imposter. She, when you watch her videos, she has true passion, and that's what I look for in people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people that aren't just doing it for the likes.
Yeah.
People that are actually out there, even when it's nobody looking, they're still doing what they love.
And when I got pulled over, I didn't know how I didn't have proper tags, and I got a ticket. She actually donated to my channel. I paid for my ticket.
Really?
That's
wow.
Awesome.
That's really nice of her. That's
yeah,
cool.
She's awesome. She's great people.
Man, this community itself is just filled with those kind of people. It's awesome.
Yeah,
if I get a ticket, nobody needs to be donating because that'll just make me drive faster. You guys don't do that.
This Friday, like this Wednesday, I know you guys are. I know Shop's gonna be having Squatching South Florida, Squatching South Florida on Friday. He's actually coming on my channel this Wednesday with Amber's
awesome.
Paraworld, and of course my brother Dr. Wu and some other people, because we're gonna be talking about how the paranormal investigations can help with the Bigfoot investigations.
There you go.
Well, we're doing everything we can try to combine the communities because we on you guys are open-minded, but the majority of the people in each community don't want anything to do with other communities. They don't want to
cross the streams. Yeah.
They don't want to cross the streams. And I'm thinking to myself, when you go on a Bigfoot hunt, we've done that. You listen for sounds, you're trying to, you're thinking there, what animal is that? It might not be an animal. It could be a spirit. It could be a ghost, because everybody thinks paranormal is just within houses and graveyards. That's not true. People have died all over this world on every part of the land. It doesn't have to be in a house. It doesn't have to be in a graveyard. And when you do investigations, you got to have that mind open because you just don't know.
Yeah, you've heard of the forest poltergeist theory, right?
What's that? What's that theory? I want to hear it again.
It's basically they're using, some people are using that to account for all the Bigfoot activity, because a lot of Bigfoot activity is heard and felt but never seen. And they account that, well, that could be a form of poltergeist activity, except it's out in the forest instead of a house. Like getting hit by rocks, it's no different than getting hit by a stapler in a haunted house, or feeling like a noise, or hearing an odd sound, or hearing your name being called in the forest. It's no different than hearing it in a haunted house. So it's sort of a theory that a lot of the Bigfoot activity could be countered as a sort of wilderness poltergeist.
You know who you guys should try to get as a guest? There's a group called, I don't know, you probably already heard of this group. They're called the She Squatchers.
What is it?
And they're She Squatchers.
She Squatcher.
They're an all-female Bigfoot group out in the Midwest. But
Excellent.
before they became a Bigfoot researcher, they were all paranormal researchers. And some of them are medium, if you believe in the medium. I do. And their stories about them going on Bigfoot hunts and talking about seeing color orbs and the feelings of it, it's so awesome because they got it. You know, they were paranormal investigators before they kind of switched over, which you never really switch over, right? You're always investigating everything. But it's so interesting listening to them that they're, like he said, there are some tributes to both, you know, like why are some Bigfoot hunts, do you see a color orb? You know, what is that about? You know, and I say, man, you should want to listen to everything. You know, you never know, right? If you're in that situation.
Yeah, we got an all-female group around here too called Sisters of the Moon. They're like an all-female Squatch group. And there's something about, you know, the females, they'll like get it too. I guess it's all that estrogen, because they're not weighed down by the testosterone like we are when we go around. Chris,
you are so on the money. When the Cheese Watchers came on my channel, my brother, they call him Dr. Wu, asked about that. They even talk about the theory that Bigfoots can smell women more than men, and they trust women more than men because, you know, they can sense what's inside them. That's not a crazy theory. That's
trouble.
Trouble.
Yeah, actually, I've heard that before.
I'm kidding.
I've heard that before. Actually, that they're more open to the female population.
Yeah, it's talked about a lot, and it's just, you know, people are selective hearing out there. You know, like women can't hunt more than us, and these girls, when they go out, they don't take weapons, they don't take anything because they know that they can sense if you're a danger to them. If you're more of a danger to them, they're not going to show any evidence that they're there. You know, there's a lot of interesting people out there, stories. You know, I had I don't know if you guys have heard of Long Island Bigfoot. His name is Mike. He's a fantastic guy. He's been on my channel before too, and he talks about how, you know, Bigfoots, they'll actually leave a gift. I'm like, leave a gift? I've never heard that one before. That if they know that you're friendly, they'll actually leave something, you know, rocks or something, let you know they were there. I'm like, well, that's interesting. I never really thought of that in that point of view, that they're actually leaving you something. They're not going to show you themselves, but they're going to show you something that they were there. Like, that's pretty interesting. And then I heard that from several other people. Yeah, that's why you got to listen to everybody, because then these stories, you're thinking, that's bullshit. No, this person said it. This person said it.
Exactly.
This person don't know this person.
Yeah, right. It's always out in the open. They'll know you'll see it every time out in the open.
You know, when I told you that I found that the arrowhead that I carry in my pouch. Okay. On that same trip, like when we walked out to go hunting, I found the arrowhead. Then we came back hours later. When we got back to camp, my dumbass buddy said, "Man, I lost my rangefinder." And he goes, "I know where I put it." You know, it's like an hour out from where we were at, back from camp. We had to go to all take off again. So we walked back there to this rock where he said he put it. It's not there. And I'm like, dude, you dropped this thing somewhere. So we keep looking for it. We don't find it. We go back to camp. It's sitting on a log in front of the trailer. It's not there, dude. It's impossible. I watched him use that rangefinder. We got back into camp. He took his bag off and said, damn it, I lost my rangefinder. He didn't walk over to the front of the trailer. We all took off and we went back looking for the rangefinder. It was the same. That was just hours after I found that arrowhead that's in my pouch. So yeah, I still don't know where that thing came from. I don't know if another hunter stumbled across it, seen us, and knew my camp, and I don't know how it got back there.
It's a cool story though.
It is.
I've never thought about it until he said they leave you gifts. Maybe
haunted by
I always feel like I'm being
Yeah.
watched out there, so maybe that's what's watching me.
You never know. Like somebody told me, like a guy gave me good advice. He told me that, I'm not here to tell people what they should believe in or not. You don't have to believe in none of it, but if they listen to some of these stories, you never know. If you get yourself into that situation, you might have heard this story before, and it might help you out, whatever situation you're in. And I always love that, have an open mind. You don't have to believe everything you hear, but you never know when it could help you. If I talk too much, guys, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
You're
That's
great.
You guys have Bigfoot and Not on your channel.
Oh
oh
man,
yeah. Yeah, he's
he's awesome.
He's a ball of energy.
he can fill some
Honor's
time,
awesome, man.
and yeah, he's so awesome to talk to. It's got
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of good vibes coming out.
Yeah, he's on with me almost every single Wednesday.
Chad, we have
Oh, really?
Gypsy Road is booked for the 21st on the Chop Shop.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun time, man.
I haven't done it in a long time. Also, me and Connor used to do. I have another channel called Horror Talk where we do horror talk movies and all that. It's one of our little. We don't talk about it on our main channel because nobody on our main channel wants to hear movies for whatever reason. People, the paranormal, Bigfoot community, apparently they all don't like movies. So we have another channel, and we'll go on there and we'll talk about horror movies, whatever we want.
Oh, that's cool. I need to see. That's where I wouldn't know where to even start because I'm so bad with movie references.
I heard
I don't like.
I heard the latest Matrix movie was pretty horrible.
That
I wouldn't
sucks.
count as a horror movie.
That movie fucking sucks.
People keep telling me that.
Matrix
I mean,
4 is a joke.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but well, he's made 3 Matrix games for Time Warner. I'm like, what is this, a sell? Is this just to get subscribers? Like, oh my god, give me a fucking break. And
yeah, I think there was just one good Matrix movie, and half of it was knockoffs from like old, really better animes, and it's like, okay. The other 2 were completely unnecessary. It's just the first one. They blew their load on the first one so good.
Huh.
well,
Gypsy, do you watch Bigfoot movies?
there's not really a whole lot of them.
Have you
Are you
seen
sure
the one?
about that?
I think it's just titled Bigfoot.
There's a
And
whole
it's a
bunch
scary
of them.
one. It's a
I
scary
know,
one. Dude.
there is a lot, but there's not like a Bigfoot movie like a Godzilla, a high.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
There's
yeah.
not, and I'm always wondering why not.
You
I
know,
mean-
the closest thing I think we got was Exists from the Blair Witch people,
Yes, and that was
or
good.
Willow
That was
Creek
good.
if you count Bobcat Goldthwait's thing,
Yeah, that was good. That was actually good. That was, but
or
I'm like,
Rapefoot as I like to call it. 'Cause
why
that's
not?
pretty
Why not
easy.
try a big King Kong like a
production.
Bigfoot or something? Give me.
That's
it's
a good
there.
idea. That would be
He's-
cool.
Just got to write a good script.
Mm-hmm.
I seen,
Yeah, I'm a movie nerd. I admit.
Yeah, they got to figure out how to make it into a toy.
I seen
Yeah.
the $1 Million Man. The Bionic Man. What was that show back in the day?
The $1 Million Man. Yeah, they're
Yeah, he fought Bigfoot, and it was
yes,
Lou
yes.
Brigno, I think, dressed up as Bigfoot. That was a good one.
Yeah,
that was
make a
I
remake.
looked up like the first Bigfoot movie or something like that. I was trying to see what it was.
Was it Lou
And
Ferrigno?
that's what I came across. It was
I
that.
thought it
I
was
was
a-
like, no way.
I thought
Yeah.
it was a basketball player, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought it was Ferrigno. Maybe I read it wrong.
They're trying to make that into a movie. They want to
Maybe.
call it the $1 Billion Man, and they want Mark Wahlberg to play the other actor who played the $1 Million Man.
What was his name?
It's like, why do I want to watch a movie about Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, he wouldn't make a very good movie, I don't think.
Yeah, the finale is his penis rocket to the moon.
Yep. And the end.
That's funny.
You guys think sometimes now, it seems like the movies now, they're all going into the parallel multiverse. You think that's a sign that some people believe that it's a preview of, because we are in a multiverse, parallel universe.
Either that or they just need to cover up bad writing. It's this thing like I want to believe that they're playing 4D chess and they're smarter than they are, but it's like, nah, we got to figure out how to cover this bad writing. Multiverse worked on the comic books 15 years ago.
I look at it like this. I'm not a Star Trek fan. I've brought this up before. The only thing I used to remember from Star Trek was that beam me up, Scotty, where they could talk to each other on their watch. I have a watch that I can talk to you.
Yeah,
on
I was just
now.
gonna say, here we are.
I don't know if we manifest
dummy.
our own destinies or we manifest something and then we make it, or
right,
I don't know how
comes
that works.
first.
But if they're making movies like that now, you never know.
Yeah, what comes first, the concept or the actual thing?
Well, there's no original ideas. It's just, how can you it's more like finely crafted execution. I mean, everything is a so-and-so knockoff of something else. It's just how well can you execute it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sort of like how every single area, they have their own dragons, they have their own flavor of Bigfoot, they have their own, parallel myths and stuff like that. Well, they got their own parallel, like every continent has a James Bond. In Japan, it's called Jubei, and it's a sort of a spy character, who's sort of this ultimate ninja spy. And they made like tons of movies about that guy. And like in every single piece of history, they got like some sort of James Bond-esque type of character that they just love the shit out of it and make tons of media on. So that shows you how far back that goes.
Sony, I don't know if you ever look into the Mandela effect. I know it's a crazy thing. Technically, in the Mandela effect world, the word "beam me up, Scotty" was never technically spoken in any of the movies or TV series. And I'm looking at it on Wikipedia, and it does say that it become associated, except the words were never actually spoken in any Star Trek television episode or film. So the actual words "beam me up, Scotty" was never said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because wasn't he the doctor?
No.
I don't
Scotty
know. I never
was
really
the
watched
engineer
it.
guy.
Was he?
But,
well then I thought they did say "beam me up, Scotty."
I think what it is that one of the explanations that I've heard for Mandela effect that they cover that up for is they say it bleeds over in parody, that we hear it in parody. So it's probably a SNL skit where they did that because we associate with the show. We think, well, maybe that's where I heard it from. Is when it was actually, Will Ferrell saying "beam me up, Scotty" in like 1970, wherever it is. And then we associate that with the show. And I think that's the bleed over that led with Mirror, Mirror on the Wall instead of Magic Mirror on the Wall and stuff like that. But the big Mandela effect that I think that big tech is totally crapping on our heads on is the whole Ed McMahon never worked for Publishing Clearinghouse. That one, I was like, no, I will fight you to the death on that one. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Johnny Carson gave him crap for it on the show. I remember watching it. It's like, and he was on the Golden Girls.
No, he didn't. He worked for American Family Publishers.
Yeah, but we remember it as Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah, there was two companies. Publishers came out first and from the 50s, and then Family Publishers came. They were like the new kids on the block in the early 80s. So to try to compete, they hired like Ed McMahon and Dick Clark to speak for them. So the only checks he's ever given was on like a television show. He's never gone out to a house and drove there and walked to a lady at a door and handed over a check. They did like parodies on that one TV show, the big lady,
Oprah.
not Oprah, the other big lady.
She's the only big lady in the 80s.
Oh God damn it! What's
not Oprah?
Not Oprah, the one who got fired from her own show.
Ricky Lake?
Who?
No, Ricky Lake. She's the only other semi-big
No, it was
lady.
a regular TV show. They were poor with John
How
Goodman.
are you defining big? I'm thinking fat.
Roseanne.
They did Roseanne. That's it. And they did like a parody. The reason I know this is because our channel, we did a lot of shows in Mandela Effect, and that was a storyline that we did with Ed McMahon.
Large Marge.
Large Marge.
Tell him Large Marge sent ya.
I do know those damn movie references.
That movie scared the shit out of me when I saw it.
That was a strange one, wasn't it?
Just out of nowhere, it just scares the crap out of you.
Somebody was on acid making that one.
I'm sure everybody dropped out. Anytime you mention the M-E word, everybody's like, forget this. I'm out of here. I don't want to hear nothing about Mandela Effect.
Oh, not here, man.
I think it's so interesting. I mean, it is
too.
interesting to think about why do we have these changes? Why do we remember one thing than the other? A million people remember certain things. To me, it's fascinating. I just want an answer. I don't care if it's paranormal, Matrix, or people believe it's the creator, or it is a false memory from a commercial. I just want to know. That's why I'm so fascinated with all this stuff. Like you guys probably know this one. I grew up. I'm older. I'm 48. I grew up on Roger Moore, James Bond movies. Moonraker is one of my favorite. The famous girl wearing braces. Now she's not wearing braces.
Yeah, Jaws. When Jaws hooks up with that girl at the end.
Dolly.
Yeah.
It's just so fascinating because, she never wore braces. It's so fascinating because I watched the movie so many times.
Yeah, because at the end,
James Bond, and she had braces.
Yeah, Jaws ended up with that girl, and there was they both gave an awkward smile to each other at the end while looking into their eyes as they're on the beach on a date. And I remember that she either had to have braces or something on, so that way they connected on something.
Yes.
And that was the joke.
Or otherwise, it's a creepy old man picking up on a young girl. And
that was Guardians of the Galaxy with the
Stanley insert. Somebody goes, Eric, remember the commercial? No, I don't remember this commercial. But it's all fascinating. I just love it.
I like the Ford key. The Ford key Mandela Effect.
Yeah, I have a hard time trusting that because the emblems and logos, those change on the fly all the time. And
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, well, and also music is always hard because a lot of people don't realize that if a song comes out in America, in a lot of other countries, the writing of the song might not be allowed with certain verses. So a lot of verses get changed.
Yeah, there's radio edits.
Won't allow this verse, so it's music is one of those things I don't know, man. There's 1,000 countries, and some of those words aren't allowed. They have to change it. It's all about money. So,
So you're telling me Jimi Hendrix never sung, "Excuse me, will I kiss this guy"? He never said that? He never kissed a guy.
Kiss this guy.
He said
kiss this guy.
What's the comedian from... the comedian that does all the voices from the Police Academy movies. He used to do a version of that, and he would say, "Excuse me while I eat this fly," and he'd go, "Buzz, buzz, buzz, buzz." That was his version of that.
Winslow. Yeah, he was cool on Spaceballs. We're right here. You don't have to use the intercom. We've been jammed.
That's it. I'm spending the rest of my day watching movies.
You've never seen Spaceballs?
No.
Somebody comb the desert.
So
get this guy a copy of
Spaceballs. You never saw Spaceballs.
When will soon be now.
Wow.
That's it. I'm writing it on the
notes.
If you have a 10 commandments of movies, Spaceballs, like Blazing Saddles, there's certain movies that has to be in that, in that top 10 that you have to see. It's
man. Definitely.
Blazing Saddles.
Oh, dude, I'll quit the show.
If you watch
Never saw Blazing Saddles either. The famous fart scene.
We don't need no stinking guns. No, we don't know badges.
We're gonna switch the format of the show, and we're just gonna do movie references and movie reviews.
Oh, we damn sure can't reference shit out of Blazing Saddles. That one's way out of date.
Yeah.
You barely get away with Spaceballs.
Yeah, that's the
Especially-
thing nowadays.
We ain't found shit, huh, Chris? When they go in the desert.
Do you think we're taking his orders a bit too literally, sir? No, you idiot. He said comb the desert. So we're doing that. We're combing the desert. And then he he lowers the the horn and like, you guys found anything yet? He screams at them.
Movie night. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they have
I
to
like
have
my
a few of
movies.
those. Yep, gonna have to watch some. You guys are gonna have to make a list for me.
Yeah.
I got
Oh, you tell
Spaceballs.
me kind of
Blazing Saddles.
genre you like, man. I'll give you a list.
Definitely like.
We're doing
comedy.
a viewing of Blazing Saddles. I got that one bought on Amazon.
We can do that.
Or just go to my Horror Talk channel. The ones me Connor has done. We talk about every genre there are. We talk about 100 movies. So
What channel is that?
my Horror Talk channel.
Horror Talk. All right.
Horror Talk. It's where, because nobody on our main channels wants to hear movies. We know that. So, and I also do music videos. That's stupid, but for me, it's fun. I try to bring 80s rock back. I'm doing my best. Mixing it up with movies.
Melissa Nicole,
Hanky's here.
did you color your hair?
No.
That
Check
legs are
you
good.
out.
Yeah, I figured I'd piss a few people off. They said I'm too old to do it. I don't believe it.
Too old to do what?
Color my hair.
I think it
No.
looks good.
Color
think
my
there's a-
hair unnatural colors.
Man, now I gotta ask. This is like the third guess that your hair is like red now. So I have to ask, how tall are you?
5'6". It's pink.
So you're probably not a Nephilim, because that's like the pattern now. It's like, is this woman a Nephilim? Her hair is red. I
It's
think I asked
pink,
that
damn it.
one guest. A prior guest, I had asked if she had red hair, and
It's
then I asked, making sure that
bubblegum.
she's not a Nephilim. I guess
Now
I'll
we need
probably
Lizzie on here.
make that a thing.
Yeah, Lizzie's she's
Uh-oh.
got. What she
Hey,
got? Blue hair.
I got to step away
Purple.
for a little while.
A little
I gotta
while.
Yeah,
That sounds
I
like
got a
minutes.
doctor's appointment. It's going to be minutes. I
All
don't
right.
have to step away. I can mute.
It'll be like 5 minutes.
Quick, read his lips. What's he trying to
Let's
say?
see what happens.
You have a doctor's appointment on the phone?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna read your lips,
FaceTime.
so you see what his symptoms are. Okay, it sounds like he's mouthing the words, "My anus is bleeding."
Oh, need more cream? Is that what it says?
Need more cream.
Yeah.
It says
Hemorrhoids.
ass grapes on fire.
I need another prescription for my itch cream.
My testicles have swollen.
I just have to call in so they can
I
make
need
sure I'm
more-
still alive every month. That's all.
I
Oh,
need more
that's good.
saline. I need more saline for my testicles.
Yeah.
You know, people actually do that. They take saline and they
What?
ingest it. They inject it into their testicles to grow
Oh,
their scrotum
no.
out to gargantuan sizes for like, what is it, fetish stuff.
Not the best method.
Oh
Is
man.
that what we
live
call
life.
a ball washing? Is that-
I don't
Is that
know.
a ball
Terrible.
Yeah, no, that just seems like too much pain.
Yeah, don't sign me up for that.
Yeah, I've heard it is quite painful.
There's some people that like to stick metal straws down their wiener. I mean, whatever.
Oh no!
Ooh,
Well, what I jump back into?
Yeah, you can't say that around a bunch of guys.
I thought this
Pass
was
out.
movie talk. Now
well,
Prostate check for everyone.
This has been another episode of the Jasmine's Podcast.
Good times.
Good times, good times.
Ugh.
Good times, Melissa.
Mm.
Hey,
So-
Melissa, so what got you into the community? first?
Um,
I don't think
I
ever
was
heard that from you.
listening to Missing Person Mysteries with Steve Stockton, and they do this paranormal encounters or whatever, listener stories. So I wrote him a story, and that's pretty much how I got in here.
A true
It's
story?
a true story. Yes, it is a true story.
Wait, so did you know a missing person, or were you the missing person?
No,
We were all
he
about
does
to take. We were all
he does
about to take
strange
credit for
encounters
finding
too.
you.
So it's not like just
Oh.
missing people. He does paranormal and strange encounters also.
Okay, because
It's
I
like
was about to
like a
call him
mini
up saying,
series.
"Found her."
I found her. She's right here. Got her, Steve. What do we get?
He'll probably pay you to keep me.
Good. Keep her over there.
So whenever I was 16, I was spending the night with my boyfriend, and I fell asleep that night. Woke up the next morning. Everybody was in the kitchen. They were having breakfast or whatever, but it was like sleep paralysis. Like I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, but it wasn't sleep paralysis because, like, whenever I was finally able to move, I seen this like shadow fade out across the wall. And whenever I left his house that day, there was something kicking the back of my seat the entire way home. And about 2 weeks later, I went back to stay the weekend with him again. And my mom and my brother was at home, and they were watching TV in the dark. And my brother's like, "Why ain't Melissa watching the movie with us?" And my mom's like, "She's not here. She's at Josh's." And he said, "I just seen her walk by the TV." You know, like he's seen a shadow or whatever go by the TV. And he checked the entire house to make sure that I wasn't home because he swore up and down he seen me. And so my mom gives me hell about the thing that I brought home. But I haven't seen it again since then.
Doppelganger.
Now, Melissa, let me ask you, Melissa, when you're saying you're in bed, you could not move like 1 inch, like it was like you're frozen, but you could see?
Yeah.
See, I've had that too. Now that's been more related to UFOs type of deals than actually technically the paranormal. They say I'm not, this is all theories, that when you're frozen, you can't move because the Greys or whatever are experimenting on you, even though you can't physically see them. And it's been known that they do follow you around like a paranormal. I'm just saying these are stories from a bunch of UFO spots and all that. So I'm just trying to see if yours related to that.
Man, everybody has fucking sexy and scary sleep paralysis. Mine suck.
No, that was the first episode I ever had. I'm not convinced it was sleep paralysis because I've seen a black shadow. I brought it home and other people saw it. So I dealt with sleep paralysis for years.
But you said you couldn't move during that encounter.
I couldn't.
That's a paralysis.
It is a paralysis, but I don't attribute
I didn't
it.
have a sleep paralysis. Did you know?
I don't attribute it to sleep
I
paralysis.
agree with Melissa. I mean, it's you cannot move. You can see
because I'm not the only person that saw it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
So it's not like a hallucination. I wasn't crazy. It wasn't in my head. I wasn't dreaming.
So what you saw in the house, another person saw what you saw in the house?
Yes.
In Josh's house.
After I brought it home, yes.
Okay.
It was crazy too, like the way it happened, because I sent that story to Steve on May the 11th. And he posted it on Josh's birthday. Josh passed away 3 years ago. And he posted it on Josh's birthday. And the day he posted it, I saw him whenever I woke up. I took a nap. I woke up. I seen him standing beside my bed.
That's creepy.
That's creepy.
He said that the email had got lost. That's why he didn't read my story before then. I thought it was very coincidental.
Yeah, I keep getting anxiety about my emails showing up in their spam folders.
I think I missed
Yeah, that I think you told me about that before, Melissa. I remember that story about him showing up. Is that Yeah.
That's creepy.
It was good to see him, but like it was weird because you have all these things that if you could see him one more time, you would say,
Yeah.
you know what you would say to him because there's so much you didn't say. And all I did was smile, and he smiled, and I rolled back over and went to sleep. And I woke up again, and I was kicking myself like, why didn't you tell him this and that,
People do the same thing with ET. Or when they say UFOs. But like Ben and Joe saw a UFO in, where was that, Arizona, I think. And
I did wake up over there one time, and I had leaves in my underwear. So I might have got probed. I don't know.
Oh,
Could be.
right at the 3-hour mark.
And that's a true story.
But
I mean, I was really drunk the night before. I don't know what happened.
oh, well, anything could have happened at that point.
Yeah, then probably Bigfoot probed you.
Yeah,
I was probably dancing,
That explains the leaves.
with Cassie in the woods, doing our nymph
Probably.
thing.
oh, jeez. Oh, boy. This is going real downhill.
I'm interested as hell. It's exciting.
They like to dance naked in the moonlight.
Yep. They're going to go out there and do their showering in the moon.
Well,
We got
listen,
to connect
listen.
with Mother Nature.
I have had some witches on my channel, and one of the questions we did ask was a question that I asked because I've heard that witches dance naked because they become more with the nature, and their whatever spells they're doing or whatever they're doing is stronger. And I asked that question to the witch, nothing sexual, nothing, and she says yes. That's the main reason why they dance naked, because to ask for nature to do a gift or something, you got to become one with it. And to become one with it, you do have to be naked because you're born naked into the world. So you're naturally naked. Clothes blocks some of the abilities supposedly that you have. And your abilities are more when your clothes are off.
I don't agree
Yeah.
with clothes.
Moonbathing, right? They call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well-
want to do that. I got to do that sometime. I need like a privacy fence around my house so I can do that.
Yeah, but if I dance naked outside, I'll be arrested. I
Oh,
know
yeah,
that.
I'll be in the jail
Yeah,
cell
no
in
one wants
about-
to see me.
Yeah.
Trust
Well,
me.
yeah, the cops live across the street from me.
Oh, God.
That could be a problem.
Good place for him.
Husband and wife.
Is he a happy police guy?
It's the couple. Both of them are cops.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm sure they'd love to lock me up. If she
Yeah,
sees me
love
running
this-
around naked in front of her
so
husband,
nice.
yeah, she's gonna lock me up.
You guys are awesome. I love this chat. It's off topic.
I've came
Yeah,
to before. I'm not gonna tell this whole story, but I've came to before in the middle of a neighborhood, like 3 houses away from my house, with an assault rifle in my underwear.
What?
Guys,
Somebody had hurt one of my neighbors, and it was a lady I actually grew up with my whole life, and she came in and was screaming and crying, and so was her daughter. And before I even realized what was happening, I was down at her house with the gun, and then woke up and looked down, and it wasn't a dream. I was standing there in my chones with an assault rifle.
Oh,
Dude ran
my
out of the
God.
back
Were
of her
you-
house. Whoever broke
Were you
in.
under the influence, or did you just
Nope.
take a nap?
No, I was dead asleep. That's how I got woke up. Yeah.
I mean, like you were
So that
drinking
was
or
my
something, right? You
experience
didn't
of
just lay
dancing
down in the
moonlight,
middle of the road.
almost
Nick.
naked.
It's a good spot to sleep.
you guys were on that channel last night, right? Space Out
Radio.
You've been
Yep.
watching
I
it
missed
with that girl with the bleach blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you something. She's full of shit. I believe Melissa more than I believe that girl from last night.
I missed last night. What
I
was it
thought she
about?
was awesome,
From last
man.
night. Look at my eyes. Like, what? Your eyes are normal, over large. ET eyes, give me a break. I believe Melissa more than I believe that girl last night. I wanted to laugh so hard, but I'm cool. I'm cool.
Hey, Sonny. Is that an assault rifle in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh.
Yeah, that intruder was looking out the window like, "Oh, I got to get out of here." There's a guy in his boxers with an AR. If he's willing to do that, he's willing to come in here and just shoot the place up.
Right.
Boxer briefs.
What's that?
Man,
Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs. Excuse me.
Yeah, boxer briefs because they hold it in better. The
That's
assault
right.
rifle.
Oh my God. And on that note, we've just did 3 hours, guys. I'm going to shut her down on the YouTube side. I'll keep the StreamYard going. But let's see here. It's Tuesday, so Thursday we're going to be back again, 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern, our new time, which is 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. Pacific over on sunny side of the country. And then we
Join
will
us for the after party. We're getting naked and getting back to nature.
Yeah, we're doing some
That's right.
moon bathing after the show here.
I'm down with that.
Go get a gun and run around naked.
Maybe that's what we'll do on Friday
I'll bring my
on the
big
Paranormal
wings.
Chop Shop. Sonny, who do we have for Friday on the Paranormal Chop Shop this week?
We have Matt Williamson.
Matt
and
Williamson.
I think I got that name right. Yes, I do. Matt Williamson, and his YouTube channel is Squatching in South Florida.
Yep. He's on my channel this Wednesday.
And that's
Excellent.
right. I was going to say he's on Gypsy Road's channel this Wednesday.
So catch him over there for sure. Make sure you subscribe to
Gypsy
Gypsy Road.
Is going to be on Paranormal Chop Shop on the 21st, guys.
No, that's good. He's good. He's actually
He's good.
really
I heard he
good.
was good.
I hear good things.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
did a
wait to meet
show
that
called
guy.
The Young Guns of the Bigfoot Community, and he was part of that young group that I had on. I had like 4 of them, and he's awesome. He's a natural host. He knows his shit. He goes on expeditions. I mean, he's gone on expeditions. So you guys need to dig it all with him because he's actually. I know he's young, but he has done a lot of Bigfoot hunts, and he's been with a lot of researchers. He's been in the business for 20 to 30 years. So he's actually got a lot of knowledge for a young age.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait to have a conversation with him. Sounds like a very knowledgeable guy.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have good times.
Yeah.
I need
So
a tech guy. Who's good with technology?
why? What do you need?
I need to build an app. I need to make an app.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Come on, somebody knows something.
Nope. Not
You can
building apps.
Google it, right? I mean,
Yeah, you can YouTube it. Just like
YouTube
everything.
teach you anything.
Oh yeah.
No, because Connor went out and he was, exploring. He found some bones, and you know how they have the app to hold up to the stars and it shows you the
Oh, yeah.
constellations and stuff. You need one for bones so you can tell if it's animal, human, what kind of animal is it? That would be cool.
That would be cool because I found a body, half a body anyway, a guy's back,
Oh my God.
and where we fish out here in Mendota. You know where that's at.
My father worked
In
at
Mendota.
sugar company
Yeah,
his whole
I
life.
found
out
it.
in
And we called the sheriff. They came out and they looked at it, and then they taped the whole place off, and they told us that was just an animal. I was like, yeah, you kicked us out of our fishing spot and roped it all off because it's an animal. Get
An
the hell
alien
out of here.
animal.
San Joaquin
I
River.
know what the hell I'm looking at. I was looking at hip bones and a spine.
Connor's going to be on Space Out Radio himself Wednesday night. He's going to be on my channel for 30 minutes. Then he has to jump off and join Space Out Radio.
Oh, cool. That's gonna be fun.
But I tell people that you can't watch him until my show's done first. Then you go.
I'm so interested to see how that's going to go with Dave because you've worked with him before, so you know his energy. Has Dave ever interviewed him? I don't think he has.
No. He's my co-host, and if you don't know Connor, when he goes on a show for the first time, he goes at 200
wide
miles
open.
You gotta be ready. See, he's playing with me because
I love it though. God, I
Me
love
too.
it. He's got so much energy.
Yep. It's good vibes too. He's not talking.
coming on the 5th.
Yeah.
No,
Be on the 5th on SOR.
And
He's
he's all about love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He likes
That's
connecting
gonna be
back to Earth. I bet he'd get naked and dance with us.
poor Chad. He's trying to end the show. We're continuing.
Yeah, I'm over here like my bed is.
I'm
my
just
bed's
trying
20
to get
feet
the
away.
orgy started.
Oh boy.
We'll let you end it, Chad. And if you want to jump off, I'll run it for a while. If everyone wants
Kick
to
her
hang
out, Ted.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us on the Chad Smith podcast for Tuesday, and we will see you again on Thursday.
Thanks,
Bye
guys.
bye.